Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Oladele Ayorinde, and I'm happy to welcome you to the Organ House Concert and Seminar Series today. Today's edition is quite interesting, of course, for the obvious reasons, and for the title also is Children's Week. 2 days ago was Children's Day, and I'm sure we are still in that euphoria. We are still into that spirit. And it's a good time to discuss children's music, particularly with the people who has the tool, who live in that world, who drive that world, or those who make things happen in that particular arena. So we are so happy today to welcome you to this conversation, particularly a dedicated series, to children's music. This is not something that we often do in this part of the world, particularly in Nigeria. Is not one of those areas or popular areas of music discourse, scholarship, or even performance, discourse. Uh, of course, because it's not popular does not mean it does not exist. It is there. And that is why we are happy today to bring to this platform one of the leading, pioneers in this area, who I've known at least for, I can count 15, 18, yeah, maybe 17, 18 years now. Yeah. So I will come back to today's session soon. But for some of us who are joining us for the first time, it's my pleasure to welcome you to the Organ House Concert and Seminar Series today. The Organ House series is a space for music exploration where we discuss and we engage in issues surrounding music in Nigeria, Africa, and its relation into the African diaspora and the world over. So we engage issues around performance culture, artistic practice, theory, composition, research, either musicological, whatever forms of music research you are doing is our business on this platform, as well as issues of documentation, which is central to our business on this platform also. So I'm so happy to welcome you to the Organ House. We engage artistic work, we have concert series, we have research, we have compositional issues, we have issues, we engage issues surrounding composition, artistic work, process, performance, whatever you want to talk about in music, we have it on this platform. So I'm so happy to welcome you to the Organ House Concert and Seminar Series today. In the process of this conversation, I am going to take a few breaks to also to acquaint you with some of the things we are working on, our projects, symposiums, upcoming symposiums, and also concert series and upcoming initiative at the Organ House. When I mean the Organ House, I mean the Department of Music at Mountaintop University. Yeah. So let's go back to today's focus and plan. So today we are so happy to welcome one of the great around. I can say the greatest. By that I mean someone who has dedicated a lot of time, efforts, initiative, and has invested a lot in early childhood music education program in Nigeria. And I'm talking about Mr. Raphael Francis Oladipo. Of course, many people don't know him as Oladipo. We know him as Mr. Raphael, Mr. Francis, Mr. whatever in those categories. But whatever angles you are engaging Mr. Raphael today, I'm so happy to welcome him on this platform, and it's so great to have him. Also, it's indeed a great honor to have him. You are highly welcome, Mr. Francis.
Good afternoon, Doctor. So good to see you. I need to report myself to our audience that you've been trying to get me on this platform for a very long time, and it's such a great privilege to be here and to just lend our voice to the amazing work you are doing. I've known you, like you said, for almost 2 decades now, and in that period of time, we've done a couple of things together, and it's been fantastic. You're an amazing musicologist yourself, and like I always say, we bow, namaste, we bow to the divine in you. Thanks for having
Yeah.
me. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And my name is Raphael Francis. I like to be called Raphael for some. And I was telling my current employer, I said, because that's the name that over time you want to have a household name. So Raphael just seems to have stuck with me over the years. So
Mhm.
like you said, some persons don't know that my middle name is Oladipo, so Raphael Francis Oladipo. But it's great to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, Mr. Raphael. Thank you so much. Yeah, as you can see, Mr. Raphael is an I say humble person. I can say that, Of course, we are going to see that in this conversation. Yeah. Yeah, it's always like that. It has not changed. I'm sure it has not changed. It's always like that. Yeah. So thank you so much, Mr. Raphael. Thank you. So
No, it's
today's
mine. Thank you,
business
sir.
is, yeah. So today's business is quite interesting. And like I said, it is symbolic, in the sense that it's an edition that is dedicated solely, for music, early childhood music education, or we can say music education for children in Nigeria, Africa, and African diaspora. This is not a common phenomenon, and I need to let you know about it. And that's why I'm so excited about it today. So I am going to invite Mr. Raphael to introduce himself, um, you know, briefly to our audience. Then I will do a kind of very short, uh, intro about the presentation, and I will hand over the baton to him because I really want him to introduce himself properly particularly for our audience who needs to know him actually. Mr.
Uh,
Raphael, please.
Okay, so my name is Raphael Francis. I like to be called Raphael. It's just a name I just love for obvious reasons. It just resonates with the work I do with kids. I'm very passionate about kids and kids' music, education, and training and upbringing. My introduction into music started with my own dad, who um, was in church one day and found the keyboard. One of the keyboards of the church had been abandoned at the back of the church in the store and just left alone. And he brought it home. I think I was 6 or 7 then. I think around that age because I was still pretty young. And he brought it home. He fixed it and told me to start learning it. So I was just trying my hand I was trying my hand on it. So what I used to do back then was just listen to songs. Um, for some divine reason, I had that innate ability to just hear music. I had, let me not say had, because it's still there. Hear music and then just, you can reproduce it more like learning by rote. So I'll just do that and start listening until but in secondary school, I did go into science class. Wanted to be an engineer and all those stuff. I was always bragging about because I was very good in sciences. But as they say, man proposes. After secondary school, and my journey just veered off into music because I met a group of guys who wanted me to be part of the team. So then we'll go into schools and all that and teach. So that kind of like developed my interest in music and made it kick because I saw that it wasn't just an innate ability, it was something I could also give to my world. It was something I could also teach. And I was pretty good at it. So then I got into the Wilson Center, started writing exams, started sitting for exams, piano exams, flute exams, theory of music exams. And it was doing very good. It was passing these exams into one color, then went into the museum diploma school, became one of the very first students to do a double major because no someone allow you to do a double major in the diploma school because you have to focus because it's a very intense program. So I had to do music and voice. Now, it so happened that while I was doing the interview to get into the school, I'd come in for flute and I was playing flute really good. And after playing, and they're like, oh, yeah, okay, so yeah, you're coming in now. Tell us about yourself. And we started talking. And the director, the deputy director then, was the deputy director then? Also, the voice coach was one of the leaders there. he okay. So he said, I like your voice. I like the way you talk. Can you sing? I said, yeah, I can sing. I said, okay, sing. And then he went to the piano and he was playing Kumbaya, my Lord. And he started, I think, from F and he played it. I went, Kumbaya, my Lord. And he modulated to E flat. Kumbaya, my Lord. Came down to D. Kumbaya, my Lord. He came down to C. Kumbaya, my Lord. He came down to B flat. No, and I just kept going. I was like, oh no, you must sing, you must sing, you must sing. And it became a thing of debate among the leaders, what's called them, the leaders of the school. And after a while, they agreed, okay, fine, let's see if you can do it. So I ended up doing double major and graduated flying colors. I mean, I graduated as the best voice student of my set, male category. My recital was very good. I remember singing Oliver Twist, reviewing the situation, and the whole went because that song is so good. It's like very dramatic on the stage and sing it. So so that's how my journey into classical singing commenced, and that's a very even for my talking voice you can hear it. I was performed like one of the very good big singers back then, and then went on to do my Bachelor of Arts degree with the University of Winnipeg, Ghana, and so over time, just been in music learning. In 2016, started the Muson Junior Choir, where we were able to raise a very fantastic choir of kids that could sing you to the heavens. You know, and that choir lasted for like 2, 3 years. And COVID came and everything just went down the drain. I mean, we didn't really recover after the COVID scenario and all that. And started working in schools. So my first journey into music, proper teaching, if I would say that, was in 2010 when I got into the Marshall Music Academy. I thought that opened me up to teaching music the way it's supposed to be done. God introduced to very good resources and very good materials. God bless the dearest Mrs. Glenda Marshall, blessed memory. She was amazing. She took me into her hand. She mentored me. She mentored me. She gave me opportunities to teach. Introduced me even to teaching children with special needs and how to handle them and everything. Then I also met a client who would now move me to Abuja in 2012. And I was going to Abuja. I tell this story every time people look at me, I'm like, what? So I was going to Abuja almost every weekend just to teach the family. And then that's how the whole idea of Abba Music School in Abuja started. If you've ever been to Abuja, if you've heard of Abba Music School, I was one of the brains behind that school. And then I had to come back to Nigeria and to Lagos rather, and joined forces with my dear friend Williams, fantastic music teacher, fantastic, amazing guy. And we joined forces with the Brand Point Music Consult, and we were just flying, working in schools, just everywhere we went to, music was good because we were a team that was just unstoppable. And then in 2015, I branched out by myself and said, okay, it's time for me to do my own stuff and just be my own man. Started working in schools. And since then, it's just been great. In 2010, just to take us back, I remember also part of the team that went for the International Society of Music Educators conference in Beijing. In fact, we went, it was fantastic. We were the only choir from Nigeria, from Africa rather, that was there. And we represented the whole of Africa. We sang, it was a fantastic conference. We went to the embassy, we sang for the ambassador, and he had to bring us back. He said, no, you have to come back. You have to come and celebrate the Nigerian, what's it called? The Nigerian independence with us. And we had to go back again, and he hosted us. It was fantastic. And just February this year, where I work presently, we also went to Doha, Qatar for the Kobe Music Festival. Over the years, been associated with Kobe, associated with ASEN. ASEN is the Association of International School Educators of Nigeria, where I currently serve as the music coordinator for all the schools. So it's like a very big association where we have all the schools come together. We have music competitions, we have fantastic orchestra competitions, we have solo festivals, we have EYFS festivals, we have choir festivals, and we're always doing this thing just to promote music and to make sure that music for kids, for children in Nigeria thrives and that people have these opportunities to just do what they do. So that's kind of like my journey and my life in brief. I
Okay,
hope that
great.
does justice to your
Yeah,
question. That's
definitely. And definitely. I think in fact, you have touched upon many interesting areas that we are still going to come back to one after the other. But thanks so much for laying it down so greatly. Thank you so much. Just a moment, please. Okay. Just a moment. Okay. So, thanks so much for laying it down so clearly and so detailed. So, yes, the point for me, where I really want to advance on what you just laid down on the table for everyone is your journey, of course. So, yes, I was talking about your last point, which is about, of course, your journey, your beautiful trajectory, and very, very, how will I put it now? They use a word, they say this is very, very compelling and challenging. Yeah. So, I'm interested in what you have been doing, particularly working with kids, but over the years, getting them from one place to the other, and taking a kid who has no prior knowledge, in music. And before few months, you handle them, and before anyone could say Jack, they're already on the stage playing, and not just playing, they are playing some serious stuff, side playing and making music. Yeah. So then the question for me is, how how can early childhood music education, like what you've been doing for years, contribute to the holistic development, I mean, cognitive, emotional, or social life of children in Nigeria, for instance? Because Nigeria today is in a space where we need that kind of intellectual engagement. But from your own experience over the years, how has this plays out, or how have you noticed anything like that? How is this, music education, could be contemporary, jazz, classical, or whatever you've been working with them? How has this played out? Because we know this to be something we often read in paper. Oh, the Mozart effect, music does this, music does that. But you, an expert, how does this play out?
Yeah, so very good question, because sometimes when things are put on paper rather, and just left as abstract thoughts, we we don't know that these things are happening every year on the street. So let me go back to 2016, for example, when we started the mission choir. It was open to everybody, everybody. I mean, the mission junior choir. It was open to every child in Lagos. So there was no classes in it. It was just come. We put out an advert. The first day we met, the first day we met at that choir practice, we had people coming from every part of Lagos, and not to sound corny or quirky, or what the word I'm looking for the right word to use. I mean, we had people coming from Ikorodu, we had people coming from Lekki, we had people coming from Okokomaiko, we had people coming from Banana Island. So it was a blend of kids. And when we came together, um, we were rehearsing and learning to do our performance. After one of the songs we did was Adekunle's Gold, Iwe, 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 Ayo. So I needed a soloist for that song. And because of the very strong Yoruba intonation of the song and everything, I needed a child that could sing that song. And a girl came up and said, "Yeah, I can sing the song." Motunari by name, I still remember her name very well. And I was like, "Oh, yeah, give it a go." And this girl sang the song. Now, at that time, it didn't really make sense to me as how it does now, because years later, I was in Lekki. We went for a studio recording at Harvard Studio on Lekki in Lekki Phase One. And as I came out of the studio when we're done recording, I saw somebody walking up to me and screaming my name, Mr. Ralph. I'm like, "Hey, Mutsunari, what's up? How are you? What are you doing here?" I was like, "Oh, I'm just doing my NYC. I'm working somewhere, yeah, 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 and all that." I'm like, "Oh, fine, you've gone to university there, yeah. What did you study?" He said, "I studied music." I'm like, "Wow, you're kidding me." He said, "No, did music. You inspired it. Remember when we did that choir and all of that?" And she went on and on and on. There's also another lady who's a very strong book vendor with us where I work, you know, very strong book vendor with us. And every time she sees me, she was like, "Oh, my son is in Babcock University now. And because of what you did he's doing this, he's doing that. We have another student who is in Harvard, who is playing jazz musician very good. What I'm trying to say is this. Sometimes when we try to quantify the effect that our music has had on people that we've met, it's very tough to quantify because we some we've seen, some we've not seen. There is an upcoming artist in Nigeria. I don't know many people if you've heard about him. It's called Jimmy Abdul. Jimmy Abdul, that's his name. You can check him out on your streaming platform. He's a very good musician. I remember when I was working back then in private school. Yes, he used to be somebody that we used to drag to the music club. I would drag him to the music club and say, okay, you must sing, you must play, you must learn this. And I'm like, no, no, no. And then one day, many years later, I just saw on my Instagram page a message from his elder brother, Sammy, say, how are you, Mr. Rap? We've been trying to reach you. My brother needed you to be at his debut concert. He needed you to be there because you inspired him and he just wanted you to be there. Music plays, and music is always playing and has played a very significant role in the lives of the children we meet. And I am grateful to God that in my own journey, I've been able to meet kids who didn't really love music at the time when met them. And though it seemed like we were forcing them because I have my own way of making you to learn music, not necessarily forcing you, but making you see the need of it and telling you, making you know that this music is powerful enough to affect your cognitive learning so that you can become a great person tomorrow. It helps your concentration. It has helped. So for the Nigerian child, I say to every parent I meet, I say to every child I meet, it is very important for every child to learn music. Sometimes you narrow it down and say, oh, every child needs to learn to play the piano because that's the starting point. Because if you can play, it helps your concentration. It brings your mental focus into perspective. It brings it down into perspective. A child that can stay still to learn music, to read notes, can achieve anything that he or she wants to. And we have a plethora of examples that have passed through us that are doing great stuff. Yeah, many didn't go on to become musicians, but at least where they are now, they still appreciate music. They are into music in some form, some way, or the other. That's what I can say for now. That's it.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you. And I'm really happy about these interesting stories and the cases you shared today. Wow, I'm looking forward to still, explore these people also myself. But thank you so much. Yeah, we are still coming back to this particular question, definitely. But let's take another question and let's, advance the conversation a bit. Then we'll come back to this later. So my question is, of course, you
Okay.
have been doing all these wonderful works. You've been teaching choir, teaching instruments, particular solo instrument, flutes, singing, all the stuff you've been doing over the years. And even before you said it today, all the results are out there. Of course, I remember clearly when uh, you started the Muson Junior Choir. I mean, yeah, I remember that one myself. Then I also remember on many occasions also, which in fact many people might not even know that you are also a fantastic event manager compare or we call it MC. Well, I won't call it MC because MC is more like over underrated these days. But I'll say compare, to use that word. Yeah, even going to the level of comparing Muson school graduation and bigger events. Yeah, but that's not even the case or the point for now. My point is, I haven't done all these great works that you have been doing. Now, my question is, what are the key principles behind your own approach to choirs and orchestra training or teaching? Yeah. Is there any particular approach that you privilege upon others, or you have, just tell us, please. Can you run? Yeah, we'd
Okay.
like to know.
So yes. um, when I sat for my last interview, I like to tell stories from me. And I sat for my last interview. I work at Grange School right now. When I sat for my last interview, and I was facing the head of school, the principal, and the HR manager, and he said, a question like this was thrown at me. A question like this was thrown at me, and so excellence. One of the things I strive for is excellence. Anything I do, I like to do it well. I do not believe, and this is thankful in part to my um, training in the course of thinking habits. So I've done a lot of training in thinking habits where you have this positive and growth mindset where you know that okay, there's nothing like you can't. You're working on it. It's going to get better. You know, you have positive mindset. So when I come to any choir orchestra, my first principle is this is where you are. This is where I want to take you to, and we are going to get there any which way. But it is good for you to do it my way because my way is the way of excellence. I'm going to take you from here to here. So little wonder where I'm working presently, for example, I'm just 9 months into the job and the feedback has been good. Everybody's saying, oh, your orchestra is fantastic now. You're playing works that are different. You're doing stuff that are not because I am my own, I am my own challenge. I am my own, I try to be a better version of me than I was yesterday. So I don't look at anybody and want to be better than that person or compare myself to them. No, what did I do yesterday? And how can I be better than that? Okay, my choir sang this song yesterday. How can my choir sing this song next? So, take for example, my orchestra comes on stage and then we play a song. And then when we're done, there's this Afro medley I arranged for my orchestra and then we played it. And a couple of the parents walked up to me and said, we've never heard Afrobeat played in this environment because this is a very conservative British environment. And I'm like, yeah, welcome to my world. I like to do things differently. And they're like, yeah, we love it. So I believe that if you don't the taste of the they say now the taste of the sweetness of the food is in the taste. There's a way that word goes. So if you've not tasted me, how would you know how good I am? So I'll be doing you a disservice if I don't let you taste what I'm bringing to the table. So my choir comes on stage, for example, and I hear, oh, we've been doing this like this. This is how the choir comes on stage. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute. I have a different approach to that. Oh no, but this is how it should be done. No, I think that we can do it differently. So I come on stage and and I'm breaking the norm and I'm saying, no, let's do this song instead. And let's bring in this other singing instead. So I want to expose the children under my care, the children in my choir, to every genre of music. I want them to be able to know, okay, we've done something in jazz. We've done something in Afrobeat. We've done something in K-pop. We've done something in highlife. We've done something in salsa. We've done something classical. We've touched every. I felt disappointed. I need to say this. I came down from the stage one time with my junior choir, with the Mission Junior Choir, and somebody came to me and said, why would you bring that kind of song to this place? And this place, they don't sing that. They sing only classical music. I said, I'm sorry. That is welcome to my world. Because if you say this is what we only do, it doesn't work with me. Because for children, it has to be fun, primarily. It has to be fun, primarily. And I've learned something about music. The process of making it might be tough, might seem boring, might seem uninteresting, but when it is packaged and put together, you see children loving it and singing it, and I'm like, oh, we love this song. First time I wanted my choir to sing King Sonia Ade's Appreciation. Some people are looking at me like, how would children sing that? I said, yes, they can sing it. It's an indigenous song. I love for my choir to know songs that are indigenous to them. I want them to know that they are great musicians in Nigeria. I want them not just to know, oh, the international artists and international musicians alone. Let's bring it home. Let's make them sing a Sonny Neji. Let's make them sing a King Sonny Ade. Let's make them sing a Christy Gokoye. Let's make them sing Christy Essen. Let's make them sing all the songs. And let's make them know the song. And let there be a fusion. So if you come to my concert, you will hear classical singing, of course, but you will also hear indigenous singing. So at the base of all of this is the fact that it must be fun, but you must push yourself to be better than what you were yesterday. Because if you are a director that employs me to handle the choir, and you come and you meet the choir the same way it was yesterday, then I'm not doing my job. So my principle, let it be fun, and let us go past where we were yesterday.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. I think my point is actually, how do you get particularly, those kids I'm talking about who have no interest. They don't want to, they don't care about whatever. How do you get them to
Okay,
concentrate
so
and learn the song, taking solos, playing violin solos, and being, making music? I'm not talking about just demonstrating. making real music?
So
How do you do it?
so so children like transactional relationship. Children like transactional relationship. If you do this, you will get this. Children love it. Children love to be in the spotlight. Children love to be celebrated. And then children love to hear that you appreciate them and you love them and you like what they're doing.
Mm,
So I come to you and what you can play is Mary Had a Little Lamb. I make you feel that Mary Had a Little Lamb is the best song in the world,
mm,
is the greatest song in the world. I'll put you on the stage to play Mary Had a Little Lamb and
mm,
celebrate it like you've just played a Zadas or any of the Paganini's top pieces.
mm,
So, and nobody in my choir, no child in my choir is indispensable. So we don't give you that impression that. So some children they come into the choir and they're like, yeah, well, they never use me anyway.
mm,
It is always going to be TJ that is going to sing the song every time. Mr. Raphael likes TJ. So I say
mm,
to them, I don't have any favorites. I love you to the extent to which you love your music. I don't know if that comes out right, but the music is the music and how it impacts you is the love. It's not you. It's not regardless of you, your pedigree, your parents, your parent lineage, or that's not the point. So uh, in in Christmas term, I was looking back at Christmas term and my choir. We did 12 songs that term because we had an event, and I used nine different solos, and some children came to me and said, "This has never happened before. We're always having the same person singing the same song." I said, "No." So for my kids, I want to do a song. For example, we're preparing for a couple of events. I carry the song, I post it on our Google Classroom, and I say, "Oh, this is the song we want to do. Everybody learn it." When I come, I'm going to listen to everybody. So it's not. I don't have a preconceived mindset as to who is going to sing it. It is who wants it the most. But then there are some kids who will still not want to do it. So I go to them personally and say, I want you to learn the song. I think you can do the song. Sometimes I go out of my way to look for songs that are tailored made for some particular voices. Because some voices, as a voice coach, you will know that this voice fits a particular kind of song. So for your sake, I'm ready to go out of my way to make us do a song that will make you sing. And for instruments, for example, excuse me, we have different entry level. There are kids that are advanced. There are those that are intermediate. There are those that are beginners. I'm having an event. Of course, there is a way we arrange our orchestra pieces to be. You know that there is the violin one, the violin two, the violin three. Everybody has their moment to shine. So we spotlight you too. So you're going to shine either way, whether you're violin one, violin two, or violin three. And there are events that are, permit me to say this in the nicest way, there are events that are not of high profile. For example, we might have a school event that is a closed event that is just for the students of the school. I can risk
mm,
it to have some solos that are scared to sing at that event because it gives you the platform to come out of your shell. Then there are some
mm,
events that are very high profile that you know that, okay, yeah, I need my very trusted soloist to do it. But at the same time, you don't give them the impression that, oh, if it is not you, nobody else can do it. So we
mm,
still throw it out open to everybody. So I have a record on my laptop of all the songs I do for my choir, and the names written there. Oh, X has done the solo. X is not going to do any solo in the nearest future until at least I've been able to use three, four, five, four, six other solos to do something. Because I want every child that passes through my music tutelage to be bold, confident, and what's the word now? Fearless enough to be able to stand in front of people because that's what music is all about. To be able to perform. So yes, that's what I try to do.
wow. Thank you so much. Thank you. Well, I think another point, another layer to this particular one is also since you've been working with many people, particularly award-winning children's choir, yeah, would you say playing musical instrument, or either playing musical instrument or singing in a choir facilitate discipline or moral standing, in children, in young people, generally?
Mm.
Or
I'm going to give credit
excuse me,
to,
or let me
yeah.
say, sorry, let me put it another way, in a more very, very friendly way. Would you say those who have training or exposed to children choir, orchestra, and who are performing, would you say they have high tendency to behave well in society than those who don't have the same? Maybe that's another way of putting it. Yeah.
Okay, so we have a conundrum. We have a conundrum because the kids of nowadays, the 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 challenge we have is we have a pool of celebrities, and with all due respect, who are not modeling good behavior for the kids.
Hmm.
So that's a big conundrum we have, and we have to say. But for those of us that went through academic music, I have I could say let me narrow my my talk to Muslim Center, for example. Um, Mrs. Zapata, Sir Nwokedi, Mrs. Shonongo, um, um, the Princess Banker. These are people you meet. I mean, these are people you meet, and you see a very disciplined, cultured lifestyle that you just want to emulate because music has shaped their perspective, their mindset regarding morals and what is good and what is bad. So when I stand in front of my choir, I have this cloud of witnesses standing behind me, whispering to my ear and say, "This is how we trained you." Dr. Albert Oikilome, great musician, great teacher, great man. How he instilled discipline into me when I was in his choir from the age of 12 or so, up until when I was 20 or thereabout. There is no way you go through proper music training and you don't come out morally upright. Let me use that word. Music and let me use a layman's word. Classical music, classical music has a way of shaping a person's mindset. So in my choir, I was after one of our rehearsals at the Mission Junior Choir, a parent walked up to me in front of Shell Hall. That's where we used that day, I remember clearly. And she stood eyeball to eyeball and said, "I want you to come and train my choir in my church." I said, excuse me. And she said something. She said, because when we go for the rehearsal, the parents sit at the back and they watch us do our thing. So I'm there, Perpetua is there, Ayaja is there, Kenny is there, and then the other people that are there with us at that time. And she walks up to me and says, "I like the way you handle these children. Because when you come for our rehearsals, you sit upright, you stay still. There are things you do, there are things that are expected of you to do." When I started in Halifield School, when I was in Halifield School and we got there and we had to do the Halifield School choir was I mean, if you go to Muson's archive and you look at school, the
Competitions.
annual school competition, none of that, that's
Yeah.
one of the schools that have won and won. I mean, in 13 to 15, before I left the 2016, oh my God, we're just back to back stuff. When we come to the choir practice, when we come to the choir practice, you can't, there are things that are expected of you. You come in early, sit upright, you don't talk, you don't disturb, you look at your music, you sing. In Grange where we are right now, if I tell you the time the children come to rehearsal and you come in a minute late, the doors are shut. The doors are shut. You don't come in again. So we instill this discipline into the kids. You mix two rehearsals, you're not performing. It's time to go on stage. Everybody's lining, you're misbehaving on the line, you are out. Everybody is moving to the right, but doing the choreography, you're moving to the left. We correct you, we tell you, no, move to the right. This is what you need to do. Because music is an art. It's beautiful. And any distortion will mess up the flow. So we instill that into them from the rehearsals, from the rehearsals, and we'll let them know that. So you cannot go through, let me personalize it, my choir or my orchestra and not be disciplined. It's near impossible because by the time we even go as far as for the schools, I talk to the teachers and I say to you, okay, let me know this person's behavior and disciplinary record in class. Because if you're not behaving well in class, then you can also be part of the choir because you're bringing a disrepute to my choir. Excuse me. Because we want the choir, we want everybody in the choir to have a stellar record. So yes, a child that commits to music, a child that commits to music, and we see it every time. We see the ones that are dexterous. When I talk to the parents, I'm like, a parent reached out to me recently and said, I want my child to join your orchestra. I said, well, the boy is not ready yet because the boy can't really play. He said, I make a promise to you, Mr. Rao. My child is going to practice 45 minutes every day. This was in January this year. I said, 45 minutes every day. She said, yes. That even when she's not around, she's going to make sure the house staff monitors it and she's going to be on the call watching. The child started learning violin January this year. As I'm talking to you, the concert we're preparing for, I gave them the pieces. And I said, oh, you're in violin too, because you're just starting. The boy came to me and said, no, Mr. R, but I can play violin one. I said, but you're not ready. He said, I can play, just send me the piece. This boy started playing violin in January. And as I'm talking to you right now, he has been moved up to my violin ones. Why? Because 45 minutes practice every day. A child that spends that time. And I need to say this. My principle for discipline is borrowed from the Asian case. Because I think that the Asian families, they understand this. Music is an art. So I say that to my own son too. You're going to practice 7 to 8. You will sit down and practice 7 to 8. And permit me to say this because they're children, whether you like it or you don't like it. By the time they learn that at an early age, they will learn that life is not fair. And sometimes in life, you have to do stuff even when you feel like or you don't feel like, or else success is going to be far from you.
Mm. Wow. Hmm. Thank you so much. So I have this particular question. I wanted to just say yes or no. Then it will take me, then it will help us to know if we are going to take this next question or not. So are you now saying that, yeah, yeah. Are you saying um having a music training contributes to discipline in life later in life or
Yes,
attitude?
yes, absolutely, absolutely, yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Yes, you agreed. Good. So then, if yes, then we go to the next one. Let's move to the next one then, which is, I think, it builds, it situates everything we've been saying within the Nigerian context now in a practical way because of what you just said. That yes. So then the question here is, how can music education be integrated more effectively into Nigeria's early childhood and primary school system in a way that it will also contribute to the moral and social character of younger Nigerians?
So, um, good. We don't curse darkness. We shine our light.
Hmm.
We don't curse the darkness. We shine our light. Um, Most times, when we sit and complain and whine and curse darkness and all of that, nothing changes. But when we shine the
Darkness disappear.
light, darkness disappears. Exactly. We've not done enough of shining of the light. Let me
Hmm.
put it that way. If that is a good use of English, we've not shined the light as much as we should. Permit me to say this because I am also guilty of this. If I'll say that good music has been a preserve of the elite in
Hmm.
Nigeria. Music is expensive. Music is expensive. Music is like a Cadillac experience for most Nigerians. You can afford it. You can't afford it. You can't. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. somebody comes to me and say, come and teach music, we're billing them per hour. And we're calling, you know what I'm saying. And
Yeah.
well, the charges are really high. So we've not been able to find a way to marry what we do on the private level to the
Mm.
with government. We've not been able to do that, and sadly so. My kids don't attend a highbrow school like where I work, and that's another challenge we have as music teachers too. So most of the music our kids know is because of what we teach them at home. If we leave it to what
Mm.
they learn in school, you'll be angry because you know that. I mean, my head, my principal in school asked me a question recently and said, "Mr. Ralph, I hope your children are enjoying this same good stuff you give to the children here."
Mm.
And I had to go back to my music room and I sat down and paused for a while to think about it. Because the level of music I bring to where I work, the level of music my colleagues that are working with me bring to their work is top notch. I'm not even kidding. Do you understand? So maybe let's start now. Let's leave the government first. For me as a person, I did something last year, 2 years ago. I volunteered when I had the time. Let me be very sincere to work with my son's school for their Christmas production. So I was going
Mm.
there, I was volunteering twice a week. So, and the music teacher was very receptive. So I went there, worked with them, taught them songs. And then when it was time for the production, brought in my own instrument, my equipment to the school and set up with them. And we did a fantastic production of Cinderella. I actually wrote the songs for that. So I adapted Cinderella to, I adapted it to a local story and wrote the song. That's something else I do very good. I do very well. I'm a fantastic songwriter. So I adapted it to our local scene and then took it to them, and we had a fantastic. In fact, the school stay at me. When next are you coming? I'm like, I do not have the time, you know. So on our own level, as musicians, as musicologists, as music teachers, we need to make this as part of our CSR, where we are committed to influencing our local environment. We
Mm.
don't do it a lot. We don't do it. Most of us don't do it. We had a Children's Day event just on Tuesday. Fantastic event, with brand points. It was very beautiful, But then I looked at the audience. It was all elite. It was the cream de la cream. It was the class. It was the people that could afford it that were there. Um, it's worrisome to me. So like groups like Muson, Asen, Brand Point, Masha, every music community that is out there. Money Music, which other one can I think of again? Basology, as many music groups that are there. And I know some of my music colleagues are on this and they're listening to me right now. We need, especially as Muslim alumni. There was something we used to do. We call it Concert of Stars, where we take we that are music teachers, not just music teachers, fantastic musicians. We go to schools and then we go and perform with the student there pro bono. In fact, it was we even we are the ones that we sponsor the concert,
Mm.
so at no cost to the school. And then we model good music to these students
Mm.
so they see. It's something that we've been talking about. We've been in conversation about it to bring it back again because we need that. We need to have something like that where we go to schools. And I'm not just talking about private schools that are fancy. I'm talking about your government schools. I'm talking
Yeah.
about we need to do that. We don't do it. And I'm again, I'm not exonerating myself from this. It's something that we don't do a lot that we need to start thinking to do because if we don't do that, we're losing these kids to the Jaye Jaye music that we have in town. So all they know about is Bedu, and everybody wants to do the Bedu, just jump, just dance, and there is no at the core of it. There is nothing. It's empty music. It's empty music. So, but we are on our side, and I'm saying this to you now because I know that this is something you're also passionate about, and it's something you have been talking about, and it's something you've also said we should do. So MTU, as many music bodies that are there, we need to come together and then find a way of going to the grassroots. Start by getting them recorders. We can provide recorders for all the schools. I mean, recorders, we can get very cheap recorders. It doesn't have to be the Yamahas that are so expensive. And then provide it to all the students. Introduce them to simple recorder playing. Get a one or two saxophones in the school, buy different mouthpieces for all the children, get violins for them, introduce them to this stuff. And when we do this, we are now able to. I know that Mission, for example, within Music West, is open to as many children that are talented to come and show their talent. You know,
Mm.
come and show your talent if you can. Come and just do. Come and show what you can do. But how would they show this talent if nobody has taught them and nobody has trained them? Because in that space, you need a bit of order. Classical music is about order. It's about structure. And most times the music on the street doesn't have that. So we need to step up. And then when we I've been daydreaming about what Tunde Onakoya is doing in chess. I've been daydreaming about it and asking myself, how can we do this with music?
Mm.
Where it is where we every time I see his post, because I follow him on social media, every time I see where he, because I know his story, I know where he's coming from, I know the influences around him. And I happen to be close to one of his mentors, the person that is one of his mentors that is also. So these are things that bothers me that I've been thinking about. Music can do what chess is doing. So we're not trying to compete or be envious or jealous of that. We're trying to say this is a
Yeah.
good thing. When you see something good, you're trying to do it. You shine the light. He's shining the light with chess. We can
Mm.
also shine the light with music and see how we use it to. And guess what? I've also noticed that there are people that are willing to sponsor these things if we're brave enough to start it.
Mm.
So I hope
Wow.
that after this interview, something comes out of it.
Yes, I hope so. I'm also very hopeful about that things will come out after this interview. Yeah, I can't wait also. And thanks so much for this, the way you engage this particular. This is very important for every one of us, I'm sure. And I can see many of our friends, colleagues, professional colleagues here and there, yeah, who are also, in one way or the other, connect to this idea. Yeah. Of course, it is not that there has not been spaces like what you are doing, what also my brother Williams and Uncle Femi is doing, the brand point, uh, what they are doing, and also many of our colleagues here and there. It's not that these things are not there. They are there. Like you just mentioned, we just need to take it to the public. Maybe that's the word. Because right now, most of the
Yes.
things we do are still limited within our own inner cycle, the network, the schools we work for, or the places, that we are privileged to, being able to impact one or two things. I think, like what you said, we need to start thinking about the public schools. And again,
Yes.
before even saying it, you can see the challenges, or you can see the challenges, you can see them standing, glaring at your face because they don't even have music in their syllabus to start with. What they have is called these art, music, and drama things. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Drama thing. Yes.
yeah, of course, like you said, I don't want to consider the problem. I want to focus on the light, focus on the
Yes.
light and see. Yeah. So, but I really, really agree with you, and I really appreciate that, that intention and that idea you suggested. Yes, there are many people here who are going to fly with this idea. And also, I need to mention this. We all know about this, of course, but it's also good to bring it into this context of making it public. I am still very sure that uh, churches, of course, in the past, we've had churches like CAC, they've done this seriously. Many of them are still doing it. Apostolic Faith, even deeper life, and many of these churches are still doing it. And now we have MFM.
And you have not mentioned NSL.
Exactly. That's what I'm just saying. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And we have MFM
Oh
now.
my word. Oh
Every
my word. That
Saturday, we
church
have
is
those
doing a
kids going for,
fantastic work. Yes.
yeah, violin academy, all those things. Yeah. So we
Yes.
need to, perhaps, if people knows about this initiative, it could be from MFM and all these churches. Yeah, people can also find a way. Look, I might not be the one teach the instrument, or you, but we might just be the one to just tell somebody about it. Oh, you live closer to
Hmm.
Yaba. Can you go to this place? You want to learn this? It's free because MFM is free. So, for instance, it's open to everyone around. And I've seen stories. of guys who went to New York, who wrote it in there that look, I am not a member of that church. I just heard about it, and my
Yes,
mom told me
yes,
go there, and I went there, and
yes,
now here I am playing in New York. You know,
yes.
yeah. So these are the kind of things that that still happens, but they are
So sorry to interject.
okay.
Sorry to interject, Doctor. I also wanted two things. One, I wanted you to let our audience know that they will have time to ask questions so that
Definitely,
they can have their questions ready. And then
yeah,
two, you see that um, you see that one person can make a change, yes, but even if I borrow a biblical language, one can chase 1,000, two can chase 10,000. The math doesn't align. So what one
mm,
person can do, two persons can do more than that, and that's
yeah,
why we take relationship and associations seriously.
seriously, yeah,
That's how we take it seriously. Um, MFM is a body for the individuals that are doing it, but under the name MFM. And
yeah,
you can see the magnificent work. Even some of our colleagues, we know them, who came from that background and how they are thriving in music now. So it's also something that we have been thinking about, and it is time we did it because going alone is not good. Let me use this one, and I'm
mm,
saying that because most of our music guys are here. Going alone is not going to get us anywhere. But if
mm,
we hold this bond together, we come together. You bring your bass, I bring my bass. We form the body, and we put it all out there. We'll be able to achieve more
mm,
than I want to just be by myself because I want to get the glory. I want to get the
mm,
shine. Like I said, we had a Children's Day event on Tuesday. You know, Brand Point had a children evolution music, and it was just an amazing event. It wasn't a thing of, for example, William Stanley said, "Oh, this is my event." No, it was a thing of, "This is Brand Point. You come with your students. You come with your students. You come with who you have, and let's just do something. Let us celebrate
mm.
the kids." And some of us, some other persons that even wanted to come that couldn't come, like, oh, I wanted to come, but my kids have traveled, they're not around, and all of that. So together we can achieve more. That's just what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Wow. Yeah, I agree with you. Definitely. You're talking about community, collaboration. And what you're talking
Yeah,
about is not just about, it's not something that's only needed in the early childhood music education. It's also things that we also need, is things that goes across, the music education, trajectory from early childhood, primary, secondary to secondary,
yeah,
then to tertiary education. And even after you
yeah.
become the professor, we still need to work together as a community. That's how we can change
Good.
things. So
Now,
I agree with you.
now let me say something. Yeah, let me say something about early
Okay.
childhood. Let me say something. So one of the things that has worked for me over the years is, you see those children when they are 2, 3. Now,
Yeah.
there are different teaching methods. There's Kodali, there's Off, there's Suzuki, there
Yes,
is
can off. Dark
Unique, and
Rose.
all of that.
Yeah, we really
Yes,
miss, yes.
Dakos, exactly. So I like the Suzuki method because, of course, the child is introduced to music as if it's a form of language. The way a child learns language, you learn music like that. But there's something I started doing with kids many years ago. So with children in the nursery school, talking about kids that are 3 and 4, we introduce them to musical bells. A lot of people don't know that we have musical bells. Your bells that you ring.
Mm.
They are musical bells, and they're in color codes. So you have your musical bells in color codes. Like you also use the Kodali. So you have your solfege, do, re, mi, fa,
Yeah.
sol, la, ti, do. So it's
Yeah.
in color codes. Now, so we now bring the bells to the nursery kids, 3 3 year olds, and we introduce them to. So you introduce them to so many things. You introduce them to movement because, of course, they have
Yeah.
to move their hand and rhythm. You're
Yeah.
also introducing them to sound, and also you're teaching them colors, and they are
Yeah.
concentrating. So we show them, okay, when you see red, you play. We don't tell them it's do. We tell them when you see red, you play. Now we want them to play Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. What do? We put red, red, blue, blue, red, red, top white, a lighter shade of blue, a dark shade of blue, and then they see. So they are playing it, and they're like, "Oh, I'm playing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, yay!" And they go and they're happy. Now, we use that and we teach a lot of songs. Now, at that age, their ears are tuned to music. They understand rhythm. They understand reading and they understand, okay, they also understand taking turns. You see what we're saying
Mm.
about discipline? It is
Yeah.
not your turn, don't play. It is not
Mm.
your turn, don't play. When it is your turn, you play. Because when you play out of turn, you distort the music and it doesn't flow. And because they want to hear the twinkle twinkle little star, they want to hear it well,
Mm.
they wait their turn. Now we do that with the music bells. We also do that with the glockenspiel. Now some people don't
Mm.
know the glockenspiel. It's like the xylophone, but it's smaller and it's also a color code, similar
Mm.
colors to the bells, similar colors to the bells. So I tell parents, for example, I said, well, your child is 3, 4. Don't rush to want to start them to play the piano, the violin, and no. Let's start with the music bell, the glockenspiel, the percussion,
Mm.
the timpani, the triangles, the clap, the shakers, the boom whackers, the boom whackers. I love the boom whackers, just like a pipe, but it's not painful. It's like a rubber pipe. When you hit it in your hand,
Mm.
it's also in colors. So we do all of that for nursery level. So by the time the child is ready to get to the key stage one, that's year one, what we call primary one, the child is already musically aware and musically attuned to sound and
Mm.
rhythm. So we now start introducing the child to the recorder. We now say, okay, now you're going to play the recorder. So we're not in and I'm saying this is what I've done over the years. I'm not in a hurry to introduce the child to come and play the violin or the trumpet or no. We're not in a hurry. You build the child's musical journey. You
Mm.
build the child's musical journey. So by the time the child is 6, 7, and the child wants to now come to proper instrument, orchestral instrument, the child already has a firm grip
Mm.
of music, has a firm grip of rhythm, has a firm grip of melody.
Mm.
Do you understand? And
Mm.
has a very good understanding. So it is at that early stage we target it and we focus our energy at that stage. And I'm very a colleague was teasing me the other day and said, how are you so easy? Because if you come to my nursery class, in fact, I think I love teaching the nursery children more because it is
Mm.
playful. We sit down on the floor. We don't there's no formality to their teaching. You understand? We're sitting down, we're all playing together, we're laughing, we're jumping, we're in circles, we're taking turns, we're doing the regular things they do. Roll your boat gently down the stream, and there's just simple nursery rhymes. And then sometimes to bring it home, we're doing all those things, blah, blah. You would teach them all those things as well, and then
Mm.
they're learning to talk, they're learning to interact, they're learning to communicate, it's helping their cognitive skills. You understand?
Mm.
It's also helping their emotional skills, their bonding. And we talked about sustainable. We've not brought it into the conversation, but let me bring it now. We talked about the sustainable developmental goals. And all those things. How the UN is wanting to bring this SDG into play into education and all of that. Music plays a vital role in that as well. You know.
Mm.
So at that level, at that early childhood level, there's a lot of work we do. So I cringe in fear when I see people not laying that foundation properly. And I'm like, what are you doing? These are nursery kids. They need that music and they need it well. So everywhere I go to, I'm always like, no, we need to get music bells. We need to get glockenspiel.
Mm.
We need to try and get the boom whackers. We need to get the djembe drums, those tiny ones, those tiny ones. The idea is not for them to be able to play for Elise or Moonlight Sonata. No, that's not the idea. So when we want to do an event and maybe sometimes some of my organs will come and say, what are they doing? It's just and I say, no, that's not the idea. The idea is to seek coordination. The idea is for
Mm.
these children to come on stage, like Suzuki method will tell you, it's for them to come on stage, carry their violin, drop it down, position, put it down, and that's performance. That is the whole concept. That is the whole concept. You understand?
Mm.
So it is what it is what we're supposed to be doing at that level. But some parents come to you and be like, I want my child to do the piano, I want my child to be able to play Mozart in 3 weeks. I say, it doesn't work like that. I'm sorry, miss me with that kind of thing. So it's not it is we have a lot of work to do to sensitize the quality too as well, because they are also not that informed about what we do. So as a music teacher, I was still having this conversation with some of my music colleagues yesterday. It is your prerogative to to educate your world, the space around you. You need to know this is how music is done. Because school
Mm.
owners have what they think music should be. Yes, with all due respect, you have the money, you have the institution, you say this is what you but I'm the music educator, I'm the professional here. I know what works. So you give it time. This is what we're going to do. We're going to lay the foundation. We're going to start small. We're going to build it. And over time, we're now going to get there. You come to my, or you come to the concert and you hear all the children playing recorder. And what are they playing? Mary, are they together? They know how to come on stage. They know how to take a bow. They know how to bow. They know how to curtsy. They know how to leave the stage. Those are things that that is the core of music. That is how you
Mm.
instill the discipline we're talking about. That is how you drive home the lesson. So it's not just we go for events and I see some music teachers come and they say, oh, children, we had an ASEN. I talked about ASEN earlier, Association of International School Educators of Nigeria, where I happened to be the music coordinator for it. And we had an EYFS festival. And you're supposed to come. It's an EYFS festival. You just come and sing. It's not a competition. And people are coming
Mm.
and they're singing songs that are not children, that are not nursery school appropriate. And I'm like, what are you doing? It is a nursery school event. Just come and sing nursery songs. And thankfully, we have a company, for example, like Disney, like DreamWorks, that have invested so much in music for kids.
Mm.
And you have their cartoons, you have you have Coco Melon, you have Dave and Eva. There's so many things that are out there that kids love. These children want to come to class and see you play down by the bay, and they're singing it, and they can play it, and when I mean play, not necessarily the melody. It's like you're playing down by the bay, you on the piano, and the children can beat their drums to it and hit their boom workers to it in rhythm.
Mm.
In rhythm.
Wow.
Tell me, how can a child who is, even a child who is autistic, the child will learn coordination from that kind of class? Do
Mm.
you understand? So these are things.
Wow.
so
Thank you so much, Mr. Raphael. Thank you so much. Yeah, we
welcome.
have two questions left, but before then, I quickly want to just to pass a few information, particularly for those who are joining us for the first time, or those who are just coming in into the platform today. Again, thank you so much. Is today we it's a special day today, dedicated to Children's Day. It's Children's Week. I'm sure we are all children in the hand of our Father, our parent, Heavenly Father, and whatever you call it, we are all children. But I'm talking about the children, our kids, like the people we are talking about today. And like I said earlier at the beginning of this conversation, we talk about music, we talk about music education, we talk about performances, but in our society, I'm talking about Nigeria, we hardly talk about children music. We, of course, you need to hear me clearly. It's not that we don't know about it. We know about this thing. But the reality is that we take it for granted. We assume everybody is just doing music, we assume. So
Mm,
we don't take it seriously. We don't even have a community where we discuss children music, for instance.
mm,
Yeah, we don't have a
true.
community. Yeah, we don't have a community focusing on early childhood music education, for instance. But of course, we go to big conferences, we go to big concerts, we go to festivals. But throughout a year, I know there are some of us like Mr. Raphael, the brand point. Brand point. I mean, because I know them very well. They are good brothers, of course. Mr. Femi, Uncle Femi
Williams.
Williams, and
Yeah.
what is the second? Try to get this point now. Mr. Femi and the brother. What's the
Williams.
second?
Williams.
I mean
Ezekiel Williams.
Williams, of course, Williams. Yeah, two of them. Yes, I've known them for many years. Of course, I like the same way, and they've been in this journey. So we need to bring people like this together or engage people like this. We take children's music for granted. We don't even talk about it in conferences, in our classrooms. We don't pay attention to teachers that teach that, music educators to teach children. We just assume everybody is going to teach 5 lines and four
Five
spaces
spaces.
and play the
Four spaces.
piano, and that's all. And that's all, you see. Yeah. So, and that's why I am so happy about today's or session, because it's something we need to pay attention to. Yeah, I'll come back to that. Now, quick one. Yes, for some of us, for everyone joining us on this platform, today is a unique one also because we've started a kind of movement, another approach to what we do at the Organ House concert and seminar series. So part of those things is to have a way to also have your contact to be able to follow up with you, uh, to provide you with details of what we do, update on our events. So because of that, would you mind sending your email address? Just put it in the comment section and we copy it and we can have a email for those who care, of course. It's not a
Email
compulsory.
correspondence, yes.
Yeah, correspondence, update on our
Mm.
event. Yeah, because this is one of the only ways we can do this now. So it's not just drop your email address and your name. Of course, we'll be happy to, we'll send you an update and have you in our email list because also we are having an international conference symposium in July and we would like to update you about this program. We are bringing in some of the top-notch scholar, musician in the world who are championing discourse around African art music to the organ house at Mountaintop University. So we
Mm.
would like to update you about this. We want to invite you. We're going to have it's a 3 days event, 2 days for typical engagement like this symposium, and the third day is dedicated to an interdisciplinary concert. I mean, choral, performance, organ, whatever you call it. But it's focusing on compositions by Nigerian, African, or African diaspora composer. All those
Beautiful.
belong, that are under the rubrics of African art music. So we are going to listen to a lot of African compositions, be it jazz, be it classical, be it whatever they call their, under that rubrics of African art music. We are going to, for the third day, that's the focus. So we would like to update you. We'd like to follow you on this. Thank you. Then the last one, I sent in the link to our YouTube page where we document, like I've been saying this that this platform, this series is also not just about talking series. I mean, it is an intentional, agenda to document greatness around us.
Mm.
If we have
Yes.
many great people in Nigeria. We have great scholars. Many of them are still in Nigeria. Many of them have traveled abroad, who are doing some great, fantastic things. But unfortunately, we don't have platforms where we document them. Yeah. For instance, recently somebody was asking me about one late composer, the late Debo Akinwumi. He was a Baptist, composer and one of the big voices at the time. Unfortunately, somebody needed an information about him, and the man is late. We searched online for articles, for anything about him. All we got was just snippet and snippet of old things that are, of course. But a platform of this nature is also serving as a curatorial space where we have people, we engage them in conversation, they tell us about things that are unique to them. Then we document it on our YouTube page. We call it our digital experimentation, digital archive, because in 30 years' time, somebody can come and look for Mr.
And look for this. Yes.
Raphael's presentation today. And this can just save somebody's life, about information. You want to write a research, you want to do a business. This can be an archive for anyone to get information and go about whatever they want to do. So this is why we are doing what we do. So I'm dropping the link to the YouTube page. Please, you can follow us. But most importantly, I'm not saying this because I want you to follow us, but for you to know about this initiative and make use of it. It is open access. You are not paying any dime to use the resources. We've had composers, the Ayo Ajayis, the Kenny Oretimen, the Olurantis, the Owajis. Mention them
Yeah.
around. We've had them already engaged on this platform. So you can hear their voice there directly from their voice, from their thoughts, from their own personality. So it's not that somebody said this and write on paper now. Now you are hearing them saying what they think their music is, their practices, and in relation to Nigeria. That is what we do. We want to keep this not only for us, for also for our younger ones who will come 20 years time, 30 years time, and who will raise the banner or sustain music scholarship or cultural studies in Nigeria. So this is why we're so please follow the link and most importantly, use it for your work. It's open. Please use it. Thank you so much. So let's come back to the and don't forget you can drop your link, your email and name. We'll curate it and generate what we call we can contact you directly via email for invite, update on things we do. Thank you so much. So let's come back to the let's come back to the conversation now. So we have two questions to go, but I'm going to start from your last point regarding the sustainable development goal.
Development goals. Yes.
Yeah. I'm going to start with that. So, and what I have to say about that is, of course, we've been discussing ways in which music shape personality, character, creativity, in the younger ones. Then, of course, people talk about sustainable development goal. Again, people hardly think about younger people in this sense in Nigeria also. When you talk about sustainable goals, we're talking about big building. Oh, let's go on this. Fine, these are all good. Yes, yeah, it's good infrastructure, economy, all those things, land, water, underwater. Yes,
God.
yeah, but people hardly talk about these children. Yeah, they hardly talk about them. So my question then is, in terms of this important goal, what role do you believe early music education can play in achieving broader goals of sustainable development goal, particularly in relation to African cultural preservation and development?
Okay, so first, you for our audience. So when we talk about the Sustainable Development Goals, or for short SDG, there are 17 goals. There are 17, and it is the United Nations way of alleviating poverty, helping the climate, and all of that stuff. And one of the things we do at Grange where I work, for example, is at the start of the term we start together and say, okay, what are your SDG goals and how will you marry them to the curriculum that you're going to teach and everything you're going to do with your music and all of that. Now, when I look at those 17 goals, there are four that are very key to me. For example, SDG 4, number 4 of that SDG says quality education. It's in my notes here. Sorry, I couldn't share my slide. So
Okay.
quality education, which fosters inclusive and equitable learning, encourages participation from diverse socioeconomic backgrounds, and empowers children with foundational skills for lifelong learning. So music, we foster quality education. And that is why, if you come to my orchestra, for example, we deal with music notes. So we give you the score, so to speak, the score. So you're looking at the score to play whatever the music is you want to play, whatever the music you want to play. Um, I have somebody, for example, like on our platform, if you know, I asked them, I said, I wanted to my orchestra to play Nai's Gongaso. You understand? So, but I don't want to go on to my orchestra and start saying do re do. I'm writing do re do. No, 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 and do all of that. No, I sit down, put it on a score, arrange it, and then print it for them to play. They know who the composer is. I'm just an arranger, whoever is arranging, but you know who the composer is. So that they have quality education. I'm going to tailor it down. Gender equality, SDG 5. Of course, Africa is bedeviled with gender inequality. We know that. We know that there is a bias towards the female folks. That is true. We know that. So with music, what we try to do is, so you come to the orchestra, you see girls. I have a parent say to me, "Why is my child playing the violin? He's a boy. Boys don't play violin." I'm like, "Oh, why? Where did you hear that from?" Oh, girls cannot play trumpet. Girls cannot play trombone. Girls cannot play saxophone. No. So what we do in music, we introduce the children to these instruments. You pick. As a girl, you can decide to play the trumpet. You can decide to play the trombone. You can decide to play the euphonium. You can decide to play the saxophone. Nobody's going to say because you're a girl, play the violin. No, we've broken that stereotype. We don't allow that. Do you understand? So you play the instrument of your choice, and we expose you to it. Clarinet was not made for girls to play. Boys can play. There is no instrument that is feminine or masculine. And with any instrument you're playing, we can still play the local indigenous song. So we bring it down home. No matter how dexterous you are, we bring it down home. And then, like I said, gender equality, reduce inequality, and then good health and well-being. Of course, the music, there is a battle for the mental health of the Nigerian child.
Mm.
There is a battle for the mental health of the Nigerian child. And the Nigerian child is it faces a barrage of things that are targeted at messing up their minds. So we use music to, we use music as a tool, as a medicine for that. By the time the kind of songs we teach you, the kind of music you play, we make you play. The kind of music we make you play, both foreign and local music. We engage you in that. We soak yourself in music that helps your positive thinking,
Mm.
music that makes you know that you can rise above your status. Let me use that word.
Mm.
Music that makes you know that you are that you're born in the slums doesn't mean you have to die or leave there. Music
Mm.
that leads you away from the vulgar and the sensual and immoral words that have littered the society. So we use music to recondition the Nigerian child's mind.
Mm.
So I won't come to a like in my class, for example, my music class, I do what I call a performance class. A performance class is I tell you ahead of time, 2, 3 weeks ahead of time, I say, oh, on social week we're going to have a performance class and just come and sing, play whatever you like. But there's a caveat. There must be no vulgar words, there must be no curse words. And you see children struggling, they'll be like, because it will amaze you to know that most of our children in Nigeria don't know songs that are clean.
Mm.
They only know songs that have bad words.
Mm.
So in class, I said, no, you must, it is part of your assessment. You must perform, but you must look for a song that doesn't have bad words. Whatever the genre is. You want to rap, there are rap songs that are clean. You want to sing hip hop, there are hip hop songs that are clean. You want to sing Afrobeat, there are Afrobeat songs that are nice. So we start conditioning their mind to affect the taste of music. And you will see some children that are very calm and easygoing, and they start singing you songs from the 80s. And I'm like, where did you hear that song from? Say, my daddy plays it at home. We've not talked about parental influence so far. Oh, this is the
Mm.
song my daddy listens. I'm preparing my children to sing Wayne Wayne's One Love Keep Us Together. And I was playing it, I was just rehearsing it, and the child came in and said, Mr. Wow, this is the kind of song my daddy listens to.
Mm.
And I was like, yeah, my dad has good taste. you know, so it is, and then with the SDG goal, the one that even for me is very key, I'm very strong, especially for Nigeria, is SDG number 16, where it talks about peace, justice, and strong institutions. We lack that in Nigeria. We know that. Let's not even pretend. So
Mm.
we use music to teach that to the Nigerian child, that we can be together, we can be one. There is no tribalism. There is no Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, separate. We are together. So every opportunity I have to do a concert or something, we're looking for a song that fosters love, fosters unity. If we don't find, we write it.
Mm.
We write it. And then we
Mm.
make it, we write it. And they say, okay, you are going to sing. So you have them singing songs in Yoruba language. We have them singing songs in Hausa language. We have them singing songs in Igbo language. We have them learning songs in even the so-called language we call the minor language.
Mm.
We teach them. We also teach them songs from other African countries. Instead
Mm.
of doing a South African song, a Ghana song, a Kenyan song, a Zulu song, something that makes them learn. And then
Mm.
sometimes in our schools, what we do cultural days. And those cultural days, we step out of the bound. It's not culture as far just Yoruba Hausa Igbo. No, go to the inner culture, those Kanuri, those thieves,
Yeah.
those people that you don't really talk about, the Edo, the Bini, people that you don't really talk about,
Hmm.
the people from the south, those cultures that you don't readily talk about. And so we use that to teach peace, to teach that to teach justice, unity, and togetherness. So that's what we do with music. So a music teacher that doesn't understand this is not going to thrive. Is not going
Hmm.
to overall. Is not going to be successful. So we
Hmm.
have a job to the African, to the let me stop using African, to the Nigerian child, to teach that child and to know that we've had one of my head called me and says, people should do fella music for us now. Please, there's water. There's, I mean, next thing the orchestra was playing water, and somebody come and say, why are people playing fella? And I said, the thing you know about fella is because you're in Nigeria. And the Mozart and the Beethoven, if we tell you their lifestyle, if we tell you what Mozart, if we tell you what Mozart and Tchaikovsky and all these people were doing, you will not play classical music again.
Hmm.
So let's appreciate the music.
Wow.
If you come to a concert, you see that they are playing Requiem of the Dead for you. You are nodding your head. You don't know that it's a mass for dead people.
Hmm.
you know. So, but then you come, but that being said, we I was discussing with my colleagues the other day. The other day wanted to sing tennis. I wanna be a Belonia, and I said, and that's another thing we try to do. Even when we meet all these people, these musicians, try and write songs that have clean lyrics. Anyway, I mean, as much as I like that song, you started the song on a very off note. Oh, I want to make love on the moon. No, I cannot teach that to kids. So you're
Hmm.
stressing me. So I now have to go and look for, okay, a song by Cobhams, a song by Adekunle Gold, a song by Simi, a song by Peter Wyford. The other day I sat down, I was listening to, I just went back, I was listening to Osadebe, I was listening to Oliver the Coke, I was listening to, what's his name, this guy that sang Police, yeah, police is committing suicide. I was just listening to all these things. I was just going back looking for songs that I can teach the children. Because I wrote something on my status recently. I said, that there's a dearth of good music in Nigeria. One of my friends said, stop complaining. Like I said to you, said, write it or get those songs. And I'm like, but then they are good songs. So I started going back. That's how I was able to teach my children, for example, Monsho Rio for
Hmm.
Aikidairo.
Yeah.
How many years ago? Do you understand? Teach them Asikolaye by, what's his name, Chief Ebenezer Obe. Start teaching them all those songs and taking them back. Let them know that there's somebody like Majek Pasek. Let them know that there are people that did good music, that we have a foundation. That we have a foundation of music and what
Yeah.
you're doing now. So when they grow up, they will remember and we
Hmm.
preserve that culture.
Hmm. Wow. Thank you so much. Well, it has been an interesting journey. So at this moment, I think, okay, one more last word from you, just of course to close this session with you. Then we'll open for people to ask questions as usual, as we have it and as our practice, is. So the last one is, what would be your advice for early music educators in Nigeria, particularly the aspiring one or those practicing right now?
Yeah, I think if they've been listening to all I've been saying, it's very clear. You hold the aces. So when you go into that space, um, sorry to say this, a person reached out to me recently and said, "Oh, I got a job in a school. What should I teach?" And I'm like, "If you don't know what to teach, why are you getting a job in a school?"
Wow.
And he said, "Okay, he's looking for songs." People come and say they're looking for songs to teach. When people come to me and say they're looking for songs to teach primary school children, even secondary school children, I'm always amazed. Like I said, they're Disney songs, and 99% of your Disney songs are good songs. Let It Go,
Mm.
Moana, Vivo. A music teacher that doesn't watch all those animations cannot be a good music teacher. You need to
Wow.
watch them because those are the things that the children like. You need to watch Coco Melon. I opened my laptop. I opened my laptop at work, and my children, the students started laughing. Mr. Raf, you watch Coco Melon? I said, of course. Because I opened my YouTube, I said, of course. Why will I not watch Coco Melon? I need to know the latest song on Coco Melon. I need to know what Dave and Eva is doing. I need to know what Bounce Patrol is doing. I need to know what they're doing. because I need to be able to speak the language of the nursery kids when I get to the nursery class.
Mm.
Do you understand? And where I worked
Mm.
before, I worked when I was in Grenville School. One of the things that worked for me was that I was, and this is why I thank God for all the journey so far. So nothing is a waste. Nothing is a waste. You know, in Grenville, for example, I was working from the nursery through to the secondary. So I had to be my mind. I was telling one of my others then that it is not when I say the work is much, it's not about the number of times of the timetable, the period, but the fact that I have to channel my mind
Yeah,
to come to a
thinking.
nursery class.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Come to a nursery class, play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, go to a primary school class, play Let It Go, come to a secondary class, and then play a song that is matured for them. So I had to be
Mm.
doing that week in, week out, week in, week out. It was a grinding process for me. Dear music teacher, if you're going to be an early years music teacher, a successful one, you need to familiarize yourself with the lingua of kids, of babies. You
Mm.
need to know baby language. Or like my son will say, Goo Goo Gaga. You need to know Boss Baby. Go and watch Boss Baby. Sit down. You say all those things they do. It sounds like a joke, but it is true. You know, and then you need to know those instruments that you need to introduce music to, to early years students. I mentioned them
Wow.
already. Boom workers, music bells, glockenspiel, djembe, all percussion instruments, those simple percussion instruments, those plastic toy drums. You
Mm.
know, we had a Christmas show one time and we did Little Drummer Boy. And we got those toy drums for all the students. It doesn't have to be fanciful. It just needs
Mm.
to, we just need to see them wrap the drum on the head and they're coming, that is all they want. They just want to have fun. Nursery
Fun.
kids,
Yeah.
little children between 0 and 8, they just want to have fun. They just want your
Mm.
music class to be fun. Not come to class and
Five
um,
line and four spaces.
giving them things that you understand, 5 lines and 4 spaces. Yes, the 5 lines and 4 spaces will come. Even at that, there are better ways to do your 5 lines and 4 spaces. Like I
Hmm.
said, God bless her, Mrs. Glenda Marshall of blessed memory. She introduced me to better ways to teach, even the piano. There are
Hmm.
better ways to teach it. There are fun ways to teach it. Thanks to favor and favor. Fun ways to teach the piano. So even when children don't want to learn, we have games, we have CDs, we're playing CDs for them, we're laughing in the class. And I tell the parents, I say, you're engaging me to teach your child piano. Please don't rush. Don't come in 3 months and say, let me see what my child is doing. Your child will make progress. But watch us make the progress. And one thing I personally do not encourage teachers doing, don't teach by rote. Don't teach by rote. Why are you teaching by
Hmm.
rote? There are people who have sat down and crafted curriculums for teaching. Professors, veterans, people that have gone, that have done this job, and they have crafted good curriculums for teaching. Use them. You can adapt them to suit your environment, but use them. Progressive learning is better than just me coming and say, okay, I'm teaching you by rote. Secondly, don't teach solfegging. You're teaching a violinist and you're teaching him do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si. Don't do that.
Hmm.
Don't do that. Teach them notes. Teach them notes. I mean, I get to meet children. I met a boy recently and said he can play the saxophone. I said, what can you play? He said, and those two last offer. And then can only play a particular key because they have taught him do re mi fa sol on that key. So anything else we were trying to teach was just difficult.
Hmm.
But by the time you teach a child to read notes, a child knows, A, this is A on the saxophone, and this is A on the line and spaces. The child will always know that anywhere the child goes to.
Wow.
So
Wow.
thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much, Mr. Raphael. Thank you. It's been an interesting journey today. And of course,
Yeah.
as usual, thank you so much for delivering and, taking us to that place we want to get to and unpacking those important areas that sometimes we get carried away, we overlook, we take for granted. Thank you so much. So at this point, I want to invite our friends and colleagues. I'm sure you are all online and you've listened to this, and I'm sure you have something to say, you want to contribute, you have questions or follow-up ideas, please, you are welcome. Just unmute yourself or raise your hand. I will definitely invite you. Thank you. So while we're waiting for the first person, I drop our LinkedIn page in the chat, please. You are welcome to follow us on LinkedIn, the Organ House Concert and Seminar Series on LinkedIn. Please follow us.
Hello, good afternoon, Dr. Ayo.
Oh, good afternoon, sir.
I hope you are doing great.
We are doing well. Thank you so much.
Glory be to God. Mr. Francis,
Babatunde Shosoya.
a,
I greet you, sir.
very well done job.
I greet you,
I
sir.
pay rapt attention to your submission. I can confidently assert that they are all invaluable. I'm telling you, I guess I can say that. Thank you so much. I just want to commend you because I listened to all what you have been saying. Of course, all what you have said for someone that have passed through that early childhood, we're able to know that all what you have been saying can never be overemphasized. And I give kudos to you. And once again, Dr. Ayo, well done. No?
Thank you
You're
so
doing
much.
a good job. God bless you.
Thank you.
And
you.
God will continue to enhance your intellect.
Thank
Well
you so
done.
much. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Oh, we have Mr. Isola Deshola. Can you have it, please?
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Dr. Ayo,
Good afternoon, sir.
and our guests. First and foremost, I would like to appreciate the Organ House for this wonderful opportunity to learn as you have been doing, and also for your contributions in the just concluded Society of Music Educators Conference in Abeokuta. We really appreciate your impact and contributions. Thank you very much. Back to today's seminar. Sir, today's seminar is another wonderful one. And I wish that all music teachers in Nigeria, they are here listening to today's presentation. One of my take home in this seminar is when Mr. Raphael, our guest, said that we don't create darkness, but we shine the light. I think as music teachers, we just have to contribute greatly in our little area, anywhere we find ourselves, in our little corner. What are we doing to add value to music education, to teaching and learning, especially catching our children, catching them young at their early age. So I want to appreciate our guest for this. And then when he now spoke about the SDG, the 4 SDG, it was wonderful. And I have taken note of this. And I think more of the music teachers, we need to listen to today's seminar. I want to appreciate our guests and the organers for the work. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you
Isola.
so much, Mr. Isola. Thank you so much. And thanks for hosting us at Abeokuta. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, so do we have other, please, you are welcome to contribute. Just unmute yourself and ask your question. Yes, we have Mr. Oloyede Tolulokwe, please come.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. And Mr. Raphael, thank you for the good work. Organ House, I'm also using the privilege to say thank you for your good work. You are really, really encouraging me. Even though I'm far from Lagos, I'm here in Jos, but you are really, really encouraging. Even either we are in the northern part of the country. Anytime I miss this period, maybe because of work or anything, I always feel, but I'm always happy that I can go to YouTube together. I'm privileged to be here again today to listen to this wonderful meeting, wonderful words from our guests. I'm saying thank you. I have one or two questions to ask. I would say that so far from your experience, sir, what has been your challenge, your greatest challenge? Or if there are challenges from your experience so far? even though you are an erudite teacher, you are there, you are doing the best you can do, but what has been your greatest challenge so far? Or if there has not been any challenge, I think we can also hear that. That's one. Number two, are there any sites you can recommend where we can? I'm very interested in teaching young ones, if for nothing, at least for my own child, for my children. So are there sites you can recommend where we can get some of these things we can use for kids? And also my own students in the university, sometimes they come to request for materials and also to teach kids and all. Though I've been given some hard copies that I have, but I think if I have sites where we can also go to get the best, I think it would be good you avail us those things. So, and also lastly, I will also ask that you as a choir teacher, as a choir, let me say, trainer, what do you think in this era that, I don't know, I've been away from Lagos for a while, but I don't know if it is general to we that we are in the north. Choir lazy, choristers are so lazy these days. They are lazy, and you see them start, they are not interested in, because music they can quickly do are out there. Why would they sit down to learn, even to learn rudiment of music, so that singing music can be better for them? The challenges are enormous. So what do you think we can do as an experienced person in that light? Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Challenges, yeah, we face challenges. I will start with the first one, which might seem very funny, but sometimes the challenges we face are our own colleagues. Our own colleagues, they pose the greatest challenge. Let me put it that way. And what I mean is this, and I'm not going to mince words. So, for example, you go in for a job and you want to do a job and you know your work and what the work is worth. And you insist, you stay on your ground and say, no, this is what the work is worth. But because they know that they can get someone else to do the same thing you want to do, might not be as best, might not be as good as you want to do it, but at a cheaper rate, and then the person offers them the job. And then sometimes, almost often than not, they come back to you again. I'm like, oh, can you come back to what I told you before, that this is what it's worth. So, and I'm saying this both on the private level and even in public level. Private level, I mean in one-on-one teaching that we do. So we as ourselves, we need to be honest with ourselves. So most times when we have a community, we're supposed to share. We're supposed to share. So most times selfishness affects us. And notice notice the words I'm using. I'm using us, we, me. I'm not exonerating myself from it. If we're selfish, we don't want to share our challenges with people. I'm one person, for example, I like to talk. So people who know me, they know that I like to talk. So if something happened, like I'll just come on our groups that we have, like, oh, see what is happening and what do you guys think? We share. We share with one another. Most of us don't like to share. If you don't share, you're not going to grow. We had a competition recently, and the song was supposed to do was a popular song that the children already know. So teaching them was hard because the children already know the song. But now we had to do the song in SAB. So how do we teach the song when the children already know the song? And anytime it comes to the party, they're already singing. So I have to come on the group. And I say, hey guys, this is the challenge I'm facing. And the people on that group are also going for that same competition with me. I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of what you're going to say. I'm not scared. I mean, people hoard, Nigerians we like hoarding things. If I keep your cards close to yourself, let nobody know what you're planning on doing. That doesn't work all the time. So challenges ourselves, don't do that. And then, of course, challenge of the employer or the people you meet. I sat in an interview once and asked me what I want to do in music. And I said, oh, this is what we're going to do in music. I don't come to a job and pose myself as to be a jack of all trades. Oh, I'm going to teach this, teach it. I never do that. I'm going to come with a team. We're going to have to learn. We're going to train. It's not about whether I'm a multi-instrumentalist or the fact that I want to be effective. So because I want to do an effective job, I'm going to come with a team. I'm going to bring a string player, a wooden player, and then there's going to be coordination. And then the woman was looking at me and said, "What do you mean?" No, no, no. And then at the end of the day, we came to an impasse. We couldn't agree. And then I left. Life doesn't end there. That somebody denies you a job or an opportunity doesn't mean your life is going to end. So you need to learn to take your nose and move on with it. but most of us will just cringe. So yes, like I said, one, our colleagues, two, the people that want to employ us. And then if I'm married to the fact that we have lazy choristers, yeah, why are they lazy? What opportunities are we giving to them? Do they know that they have value their work, that their time is worth your wow? Do they know that, oh, okay, like for example, I have a choir who you tell them, oh, you guys are going to perform at this event, and then they practice, and then that time of the event comes, and then they are told they are not singing again. And it happens once, twice, thrice. Do you think that choir will want to sing? They want to take you serious? They will not. They will not. When we're in some choir, then you cannot be lazy. Why would you be lazy when you know that, oh, there's going to be a trip, there's going to be an event, there's going to be this. People turn up for it. And I say this again to say, you as a choir master, you instill the discipline. You let them know that your is fit for that. If you miss 3 rehearsals, you're going to miss this event. And they know that at this event, there's going to be a benefit for the event. As a choir master, let me be very brutally honest. Don't be greedy, don't be covetous. Don't now you are paid 1 naira for the choir, and then you keep 99, you keep 9 naira and share one kobo, you keep 9 kobo and share 1 kobo for the rest of the family. But they know this thing. They're going to feel shortchanged. They're going to feel bad. They're not going to feel committed to you. But if I'm a chorister and I go for an event, you cannot take me to a hotel for an event, for example, and I come and telling me that, oh, they paid us 1 naira, then you're giving us 1 kobo, and then the next day we see you buy a new car, or we see you buy a new phone. Your choir members are not blind; they can see these things. So the sacrifice is yours to make; it's not theirs to make. So if the money is small for the choir payment to be made, you take the smallest money and give them the junk, because they are fulfilling your purpose, not theirs. They are making the good of the choir is to your glory. So choir masters need to understand this. Laziness doesn't just come, it's not just a standalone thing. Like people just think the choir is lazy. What are they getting in return? What are you giving them back? And for sites and again, for sites, it depends on what materials you're talking about. YouTube remains your greatest resource. YouTube, Google remains your greatest resource. So, but now if you're not talking about tailor-made specific site, then we need to maybe talk off this and say exactly what you want, what are you looking for. For choir, for example, if you go, so what I do with choir is I go on YouTube, I search the song, I find the song, then I go to the site because you see the company name and all of that. They will put the audio for you. You listen, you go to the site, and then you buy the piece if you need to. Do you understand? For choir, even same for orchestra. YouTube remains your greatest resource. You need to know how to use YouTube. Let me put it that way. You need to know how to use Google. You need to know how to use this. Once you know how to use them, you will get any material. The song, we're having a competition recently. We're praying for a competition, and I happened to choose the song. And someone was asking me, where did you get the song? And I was looking at it, and I said, I got it on YouTube. And I was looking at it. You just need to know what you're looking for. You need to know the right words to search. And then if you use the right words, you will get the right answers. Hope I'm able to answer your questions. I don't want to because we're running out of time. You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, we have 2 hands right now. We have Mr. Ajayi and Olufumilola. Okay, let's have Mr. Ajayi then. Olufumilola, we join you right now.
Hey, bye, Baba.
I hope he's there. Okay, he's there, of course.
Yeah, Mr. Francis.
Mr. Raphael, director.
Yeah, my brother. It's nice to hear your voice again, and then I'm one of your very great fans. I like to hear you speak.
I know.
I like to hear you speak. So I've been really stuck to this program. Well, like I'm always here weekly, but this particular one I had to really stay and listen to everything. Well done, very good insights here. Well done, everyone. Well done, Doctor, as well. Thank you for bringing this up again. Thank you for this very insightful presentation again.
For your support and everything.
Yeah. So, Mr. Raphael, please permit me to shake some tables. While you were speaking, you spoke about conditioning children's minds to understand what is good music and what is not, what they should do with music and what they should not. And I'm thinking to myself that, okay, after conditioning their minds, where do they go? Considering that the moral fabric of the nation is what? Because anywhere you go to in our country or in anywhere you go to, even in churches nowadays, the music is deafening. The music does not sound sane any longer. And anybody playing same music is being considered as okay. these are
an outcast.
Outcast, exactly. In fact, let me tell you, I saw the program. I think it happened at MTU as well. But it is not an MTU program. Let me put that disclaimer there. I think there is a program at MTU, and then there was a music interlude for higher institutions. I think higher institutions, they came for a conference, and then there was a music interlude, and then they started singing all sorts. And then, in fact, at the end of the performance, one of the participants had to come up and say, "Okay, are we supposed to be doing music like Portable and Davido?" And do you get it? I could still remember that question in my mind, because what's really distinguishes a music department in a university from a popular artist just doing his thing? I'm not saying that what the popular artists are doing is not good, but I'm thinking that if you're bringing it into an academic environment, despite that it is pop or it is Afrobeat or it is whatever, there should be some kind of distinguishing features. Refining, exactly. That's the word. So that people know that, okay, yes, this song, this genre has gone through this process, and it has come out this way. But I don't think it's the same right there in our country. Everybody just wants the money. Everybody just wants to do this. So I'm saying that, okay, well, when you condition the minds of these children, where do they go to? I said I love the idea of teaching the children, but when they leave school, where do they go to continue advancing these ideals? That's my first question. Then the second question is also regarding the idea of bringing music into schools. And you mentioned the idea of concert for schools. Which we did many years ago. Idea of bringing music into schools and collaborations. And I said, I hope you remember the oppositions we faced in order to initiate those programs. So my thought is that there is an economic problem in Nigeria. And everyone is asking, what is in it for me? When we started, we didn't have that mentality of, okay, how much are you going to pay? What is in it? So, and in fact, that was strange to me, because I did so many voluntary works growing up, and even until now at CMS Grammar School. When I finished, I went back, trained the choir, did a lot of voluntary works, even in my church and every other place. So how can we motivate teachers or trainers to take up these projects without grumbling or wrecking the boat, noting that there are no government patronage or grants? These are just my two questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
So always good to hear you, the smart, intelligent guy. Let me just let everybody know that that's my organ I just spoke with. Don't mind him with my organ, but I'll answer you. Mr. Ayo, so one of the things I was trying to avoid to say, because sometimes we come off as being self-righteous, and we don't want to sound that way. We come off as being self-righteous, and people. Let me put it this way: people say money is not everything, but when we want to judge success, they judge it by what you have. I'll say that again. People say money is not everything. Money is not everything. Money is not everything. But when they want to judge you, how successful you are, they judge you by what you have. So we're in a very materialistic world. I'm starting from the second question, because that is a table that is very hard to shake. Pro bono jobs, free jobs are not something you get. You and I have this experience, even amongst us, where you're trying to do a concert, and the first question is, what is in it for me? So people are not ready to use their gifts or talent for just. And to be fair, it also can be traced to the fact that some of these people have been burnt. Imagine you doing something pro bono, and then later finding that the money was given for that thing. So people now get angry, like, oh, but I did it for free, but I'm now hearing that somebody was paid for a job. And that is why I told somebody, I said, this year, part of my resolution for this year is that I'm going to tell my side of the story always. You see this thing people do, and people say, keep quiet, don't talk too much, don't tell your story. No, say your side of the story. Because you don't say your side of the story, people go about saying their own theories, putting up their own things. For example, you had a show. Oh, Mr. Rapp was paid 1 billion, and people can talk. So I will come out and tell you, this is what we're doing, you know, this is what is in it, this is not. Do you motivating our colleagues is tough. And that is why we try to look for people of like-mindedness, which is a very tough job to do. You find people that are of the same mind. Like I said, we just did a concert on Tuesday, Brand Point concert. Millions did not pay anybody to be at that concert. But we were about 12 or 13 music teachers that were there to make that thing work. After the event, what did we do? There was no food for anybody. There was no food, no water, nothing. Right after the event, we drove all of us to an eatery, sat down, and we learned both for everybody. We had lunch and we left. Nobody complained, nobody cried, nobody said anything, nobody whined. And we all gave our best for that event. And you know you've been a beneficiary of that. You have people who can go the extra mile for you. So what we try to do over the years is, okay, I find people that can go the extra mile for me and I work with them. And if people begin to see it, probably they will want to join. And the good thing with free jobs, like you and I know, is by the time you do it one time, do it two times, help will begin to come. People will begin to want to sponsor. That is why at that stage where it is free, we try to put the structure in place. Come, let us have a structure in place. It is free now, but it will not be free forever. In 2-3 years, people would have seen what we're doing. We'll be exposed to the word. Sponsorship will come. Let us agree the sharing formula, which is where most of us fall apart. Because, oh, you want to give me 1 naira, I want 2 naira, I want 3 naira. But let us agree. Let us put everything in paper. I hope that tries to answer that question, because I don't know what else to say, because we are in this together. We are struggling to have our music guys commit to stop because everybody wants money. And whilst we're saying everybody wants money, it doesn't mean we should not support people. I was saying to somebody the other day, I like Dr. Ayo said, I do a lot of compare, I host events and all of that. But it's unfair to me for you to wake me up the morning of your event or the night of your event and say, oh, Raph, sorry, please, I'm having this event, can you come? And then I say, no, I can't come. Then you are angry. I'm like, Raphael does not support. No, that's unfair to me. I also have my life to live. I also have things to do. So if I want you to be part of my program that is coming up in November, for example, I'm planning an event for kids in November. I've started talking to people now that I want. Still, I'm going to have an event in November. Would you start telling them? I won't wait till October or the day before and start looking for help. Conditioning the minds of people. So first, I need to say something here. I need to be on record saying this. Nigerian music is not bad. Davido, Wizkid, Burna Boy, they're not bad musicians. They're not bad musicians. I used to say something that if you go to Project Fame, Nigerian Idols, X Factor, any of all these events, have you noticed that the criteria they use to judge good singers is not who can sing, make I tell you then the Coco. No, they give you the Bryan Adams, they give you the Whitney Houston, they give you the jazz music, they give you the proper songs. Let's use that word to test your vocal dexterity. That is how we're able to get people like Chike, Inyanya, and Kingdom, and all these people that win all these things. But then I used to laugh. I said, by the time we now throw them out into the society and they now come out singing those kind of songs, we don't rate them. Because the community, the society doesn't have a taste. We love Jaye Jaye. We love party music. We love the portables. We love Nigerians, somebody brought it down to this thing. The wahala, permit my use of my choice of word, the wahala we face in Nigeria is too much that we want things to just take our mind off. So we don't have time for conscious music. There is a Johnny Drill. There is a Brymo. Burna Boy also does good music. Burna Boy's music is conscious. You can hear in proper instrument. In fact, he's one of the persons that I love listening to his concerts. Ashake does fantastic music. I know the musicians that work with him. And now they tell me that they sit down, they lodge in a place, and they cook those music, they bring them up. You can't tell me that, for example, a person listening to Lonely at the Top or listening to any of Burna Boy's songs will say that those songs are empty. They're not empty. And let us separate the lyrics Let us separate lyrics first. Let's hold lyrics with one hand and take the music in totality, the structure, the instrumentation, the orchestration, the form, the way we analyze music. You will see that some Nigerian musicians have very good music. We have the cavemen, they do very good music.
Yeah.
You know, even if you listen to some Davido songs, you will hear proper, the ones he did with the cavemen, the ones he did with that choir, they stand strong. Fantastic music. But at the core of it, we still know that these people just want, they know that in the end, Nigerians in society, the young people, they just want to dance and that. So when I say let's condition the minds of people, we need to let, in class, when we're teaching, there's some kind of music we do, we listen to that. Even there are some days I come to class and I say, okay, you know what, today, free will, sing whatever you like, and I sing them because I also want to know what these children listen to, what they like to hear. You know, so we can also, so one thing we do in schools now is we don't sing it, we play it. For example, I may not be able to bring my children on stage to sing, what's it called? I like this Burna Boy song very much. He plenty, because there's NST. I cannot bring children on stage. You know that NST, I can't do that on stage. Children singing that thing, that NST, no. Or start singing, play seat, my Mattel, no, we won't do that. But we can play it as a band. We do it as an orchestra. We play it in the band. So that's one thing we've resorted to doing. Most of these Nigerian music, we play them in the band and orchestra. It works, I think, I guess. But when we let the children know, and when we say condition their mind, they know the rubrics of music, they know the rudiments of music. Some of these children are going to grow up to become musicians except tomorrow. And who say they are going to make music for Nigeria? Who say that when their own time comes to shine, that this this other aspect of Afro music, this that is empty, because not all of them are empty, you know, that is still going to thrive in their own time. We're just laying the foundation for them. And whatever they do after that is up to them.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, we have 5 people now, and we need to take them as soon as possible because we need to go.
Oh my word!
Yeah. So we have 5 questions. So I think we start from Olufumi Lola, then we go to Dr. Ajose, then Mobolaji, then
please,
of course
Mr. Ayo should give us a sign that we answered him. Please, this is the chat. But yeah, let's continue. Yes,
yeah.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Raphael. I'm not a music teacher.
Good evening, ma.
I'm not a music teacher. I'm a school administrator. I mean, I'm not a music teacher. I'm a school administrator, and I worked with Raphael some years ago, Grenville School. So when I saw this on his page, I told him to remind me, to send me a reminder, and he just sent me. I just want to say that I really love this presentation. Very educated, very eye-opening, and I'm not disappointed because I've known Raphael and I know that he gives his all to whatever it is that he says. So keep it up, Raphael. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. The Bible says, and your good work will follow you wherever you go. So that's a good one. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Sam, I just said, then we'll go to Mr. Bolaji, then Elda Kolawole Ganikale, then N Gola. Yeah, let's go. That's right.
Yeah, thank you, organizer, and Raphael. It's good to see you again after a long time.
Yes, sir.
Like my friend Ayo, I'm not going to shake table, but I want to take away the table. Yes, we talk about music and children. I'm interested in access, inclusion, and equality. And by this, I am talking about who are what is the status of these children that you are educating? This is what I mean. I will remember, like he talked about volunteering in CMS boys' school.
Cool.
Yeah. In the days of shell competition, we know the social class of students who have access to good music education. So this is my point. Your initiative, are they targeted towards children in Musholosha Primary School or children in St. Saviour Ikoyi So that's why I'm saying that if we are going to be holistic, if we are going to do something that has national, that would be significant nationally, we should be looking at those who don't have access, those who are excluded. I am happy to say that during the days of share competition, very few of us worked with Lagos State schools. I am happy to say that. In fact, consecutively for 4 years, I was the only one, I think I can say that. Maybe later Agege Girls School joined, I can recall. Others were either private schools or mission O schools. So the issue of access, inclusion, and equality to music education for children is something I want to call your attention to. Our attention should not be focused on the privileged. Our initiative should look at those who do not have access to this. So it's just to challenge you. That's why I said I'm taking away the table. I want to shake the table. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you. So just a line, let me just say a line to that. What you said, fantastic. It's something that is at the core of the things that my brain is spinning in my head. Like I said, when we did the Muson Junior Choir, I said that. I don't know if you were here when I said that. It was a choir, Ayorinde, you remember. It was an all-inclusive choir. And the dream was big, but I mean, COVID came and everything. Hopefully we're able to go back there. And we will take what you have said into serious consideration because it is really, really, really a problem. Most of our government schools, they don't have good music. That's a fact. So thank you so much. I would do that.
Wow, thank you so much. Oh, can we have Mr. Bolaji or Ms. Bolaji? I don't know.
Yeah, thank you very much. We appreciate you, sir, Dr. Ayo and Mr. Raphael. God bless you. I want to really ask this question. I am Reverend Mobolaji Olani. So I also want to ask, what hope is there for raising great musicians among children in Nigeria when music education is discontinued in Nigerian schools after junior secondary school level?
So let me speak for what I'm very, very more familiar with first. So because I've worked in private schools, big private schools, where it is a British curriculum and all that, where music gets up to year 9, GS3, junior secondary school. And then afterwards it becomes a thing of choice. So you have to do IGCSE and all that. And so what we encourage the kids to do, is the music club. The music club is not restricted to classes. So in a school, as a music teacher, classroom graded music might stop at junior secondary school, but your club, your orchestra, your choir, your club, your orchestra, your choir is open to the entire school. So while graded music and compulsory music stops at year 9, GS3, your SS1, your year 10, your 11, your SS3 must, I don't know if I should use the word must, but should be encouraged to be part of your choir and orchestra. In fact, they form the core of your choir and orchestra for your secondary school. How would your secondary school choir and orchestra thrive without your senior secondary school students? So that is how we push music everywhere we've worked. Everywhere we've worked. And they know this because if you go for competitions, you go for mission competition, let's take mission competition, for example, because that's like the other standard of everything. You will see, one time we went to a school and the senior secondary school students were not so motivated. And we said, okay, don't worry, you're not partaking in the event, the competition, just come and see. And they got there and they saw kids from Indian language looking taller than their teachers, big boys and girls playing the recorder. Two boys playing recorder. So what's your excuse? I mean, doing senior recorder duet. And you see children from other schools too. And they were like, oh wow, so they can do it. Say yes. So your senior secondary school students are they must you have to have this teacher should have an arrangement with the school administration where your senior secondary school, when music is a club, for a compulsory club, let me use that word, for your senior secondary school students, or else music is going to die after JS3. And nothing is going to happen. Music is going to, you're just going to raise children, they get to JS3, and that's it, is gone. And that's not what you want. You want music, because at that level now, at that senior level, they are doing it. See, you have your best musicians at that level. You know why? Because now they're doing it based on interest. They are doing it because they want to. They are happy. They love it. There is nothing coercing them. They know that they are not going to write an exam for it. I'm just doing it because I love it. So that's what works, sir. Yes, sir.
Wow. Thank you so much.
I appreciate that answer.
Yeah. So can we have
welcome,
either caller or listen? Okay, sir. You can. Okay,
yeah. I am here now. Yeah, sorry for that slight delay.
No problem.
Mr. Francis, I listened to you very, very well, and I must appreciate your deep dedication to children's music education, because it is very clear that your work with orchestras, with choirs, and structured training has impacted many lives. Yeah. So that said, I noticed that your approach draws heavily on Western classical system, like the notation, orchestra models, structured instruments like violin and piano. And I also noticed that you are not an advocate for solfegging. And you've said something like the traditional pop genre, like the Yoruba aria and the Faji songs have no structure or have no substance or something like that. If I'm going to take you up on that's going to just be a new thing on this. So I wouldn't want to go too deep in that, but I would just like to mention that I have serious issue with your stand on that point, that if we are able to, we should find time to engage properly on this. My question, moreover, is do you see a future where Nigerian indigenous music system, not just repertoire or instruments, but the teaching methods themselves, do you see a future where that could lead the framework for early childhood education? For instance, like system built on oral tradition, on improvisation, on communal rhythms. Might this offer children an even stronger connection to creativity, to identity and confidence, especially in a Nigerian or African context? Much of your model clearly succeeds with Western orchestra tradition from all I've seen. Yet, international scholarship on decolonizing music education asks us to rebalance power by letting local epistemologies lead rather than be arranged into Western formats. How might your programs shift from including Nigerian music as repertoire to centering indigenous pedagogy as the organizing framework? Thereby decolonizing the very structure of music learning for our children. I don't want you to see this as a criticism or something like that.
No. I love what you're saying.
On the SDG, despite inspiring, yet, the SDG 4.7 also calls for education that respects cultural diversity and indigenous system. In that spirit, could you envision a pathway where children first learn music through Yoruba or Igbo or Hausa oral pedagogies, and only later translate those skills into Western notation, so that we center colonial framework rather than reinforcing them. In other words, my true excellence lie in indigenous system leading the classroom with Western tools, serving as one option, just one option among many.
And not the many. And not the many.
Let me stop there.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. So, fantastic. I love what you have said, and we are just a part of the whole. We are just a part of the whole. So, Dr. Ayo and I have been talking, and I know that he is very keen on the decolonization of music, and making that framework where indigenous music is at the driver's seat and not the other way around. If I'd come on this platform, for example, and say what I wasn't doing, it's not going to be fair. So I have to say what I was doing first, and then we marry. So that it comes down to what you have said now. And part of the things I said in the course of my presentation was what we try to do, what I try to do now for where I work right now with my choir, with my orchestra, is to sensitize them about indigenous music, because there's already a bias towards indigenous music. And that's why I said sometimes when we talk about Nigerian music, we shouldn't just think of it as Davido and Wizkid and then just bastardize everything. No, it goes beyond that. There is music at the grassroots. There is the folklore music. And the problem we have with oral transition is that over time it gets lost. And because we've been on this topic of where there is no proper documentation, if I can use that word, or it's not readily available to the layman, like the way a Mozart is available to the layman. I go on MuseScore, for example, and I type and blah, blah, blah. You're looking for any song, any Western song on earth is already there, notated, ready for different ensembles. You're looking for Nigerian indigenous songs, you don't find them. Or at least if you do, you have to go through a great deal of struggle to get them. People like Ayo can help you. I have Jibade too. I'll go to Jibade. Jibade will help you. I've forgotten Jibade's movement now. Jibade too. I'll go to Jibade, will ask, or we'll go to Shimon Wadu, be asking people and looking at where to get these things from. The people who are custodians of these things, I say, so we're banking on them. Everything, I'm not, let me use spiritual terms. It's not my calling, let me put it that way, to preserve that. I'm for the lack of words, but maybe Dr. Ayo will use a better word. You see, what Dr. Ayo is doing is fulfilling a calling in his own right. And I feel like Dr. Kolawole has something he is meant to do that he is doing, that we will now be the ones to now push it. So, for example, I met a guy recently. I have this guy I work with, Shemo Oyenigi, the theater. I love him. Anytime we're doing anything theater, he's very bent on doing indigenous stuff. So, if we're doing musicals, he never wants to hear any Western thing. We're either doing Moremi, we're doing Aponja, we're doing local stuff. And I always love it. And then we bring in the traditional drums. We bring all the traditional drums. If you go on my Instagram page, for example, one of my pin videos, you will see that that's kind of thing we emphasize. So local traditional drums, and we're all playing it. Why do we use Western notation? Well, as at now, how else do we teach the talking drum? How else do we teach the agogo, what's it called, the pot, the udu, all the local instruments we have? There is still no notation for them, or if they are, they're not readily available to people out there. They're not readily available to people out there. And whether we like it or not, we find ourselves in a society, for those of us that work in highbrow schools, I'm using my invited quotes for a reason, we are still struggling with letting them appreciate and understand that this is part of music. So some of them bring those Western music to you and say, take, I want my children to do Wizard of Oz. And you're trying to tell them, no, I don't want to do Wizard of Oz. I want to do something else. I want to do something written by Wole Soyinka or somebody else. Let's do something. And they're looking at you and say, why do we want to do that? I remember one time I picked a satire that David Aino wrote. So this So picked it and wanted to do it. And the school shut it down and said, no, don't bring that kind of music to this place. We don't want to hear that kind of song in our school. So we are on our own path. We will use whatever work our composers are doing. I was going to say to Dr. Ayo, the July event that you have, carry me along. I can bring my orchestra, give me a song. Say, okay, this is a music written by this and it. Give me, I'll bring a student orchestra, we'll come there, we'll play. That's one way to sensitize these people. And let them know that, okay, this is one way we can enforce it. There is a level to which we enforce what we do. Like I said, with my own orchestra, the last presentation we did something and then they were playing a Sonny Ade's appreciation and people are looking at children playing this on the orchestration and all of that. Yeah, we didn't bring in the local instrument. We didn't bring in that. We're still, I agree, yes. We're still driving this thing with Western notation. But because the indigenous notations and indigenous ways of teaching are not readily available at our fingertips. Okay. It might sound like a lame excuse. And I take ownership for it. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, we're open to partnership. We're open to collaboration. We're open to learning and say, okay, sir, you have this. Come teach it to us. Come bring it to our space. We'll embrace it and then we'll use it.
Great. I'm happy with your response. You are indeed a scholar. Yes, it is.
Okay, I think we lost
But I will still argue that this is not because indigenous systems are inadequate. It is because they've been historically excluded from formal institutions and denied investments. So the Western notation system only became widely available because entire structure, the exams, the textbooks, the publishing houses, they were all built around it. I mean, having said that, if we are serious about cultural equity, then absence of indigenous notation today is not a reason to dismiss it. It is a reason to develop and institutionalize it. After all, oral cultures have always had systems like rhythmic syllables, gestures, memory techniques, context-based learning. That's pedagogy. It just hasn't always been the shape of 5-line steps.
It hasn't, yes.
Exactly. So you see where I'm driving to, right? And
that's why, sir. Sorry to interject.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying that. That's what I'm saying that I would love to engage you after this. In fact, Dr. Ayo, please, we need to make that happen. I would love to engage you after this because I happen to have a coalition of music teachers at my disposal. You understand? So I am willing to bring you on board to have a conversation with us because we are the custodians of this and we should be the ones driving this and we will drive it. So what I would love for us to do is after this, you and I should actually have a conversation after this. I would really love it. I would really love it.
Definitely.
I subscribe.
So I would definitely send you the scholar Gani Khaled's number. He's from York University.
Please.
Definitely is
from
fantastic. York University. So I'm very sure.
Did I hear you say you were teaching at Grange schools at a point?
That's where I am presently.
That's where you are. Okay.
Yes, sir.
What if I tell you that I set up the music department in Grange schools?
Oh wow! nice.
When did you start?
Nice. So I inherited a good. I'm part of a good lineage.
What do you think? Yeah. So anyway, we should someone like you. I mean, you are doing a great job. I just have to shift the focus slightly.
Yes.
So
yes.
Kind of make us see things from indigenous perspective. I'm not out to condemn. I'm only out to create awareness and to formulate strategies to combat the annoying arrogancy of the Western agenda that has messed us up in a terrible way. People are not even able to think like us anymore. Our thinking is different in every structure, even in governance, in everything, in all our institutions. Even look at the urban.
And we can, and sir, sorry, because if we continue this conversation, we're going to go on forever. I really would love to have this conversation. So because of time constraint and because of our guest, and I think this is why what Dr. Ayo is doing is very good, so that we drive it. We that are on the side of music, we use music to bring back the sense of value.
Actually, this
is
the best I have ever imagined that is coming from academic institutions in Nigeria. This is why I always I don't miss this anytime any program is on. You know, I mean, I do get really, really busy, but I don't let anything get on my way of this Thursday.
Dr. is doing a fantastic job. Yes,
he's doing a fantastic. And the fact that is documenting it, and it is there as an archive, you know, and he has mentioned something earlier that is, you know, about what's going to happen in the future. Maybe after we had gone, all this information will remain there, you know, and that is technology for you, using it to preserve our essence. And that is exactly what my research is based on. And we can discuss that when we talk. Then you will see exactly why I speak the way I speak.
I would love that. I love that. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Eda Kolawole. Of course, we are always excited to have you, and your contribution are always. Thank you so much.
Boy, this is why you're calling me elder.
Yes, it's from. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I'm just a small boy like everybody else. We just have passion.
All right. Thank you so much. So can we have, there's one person left, Bolahon, please, who is this? Kindly, I noticed you raise your hand. Kindly unmute yourself, please. And
okay. All right. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Raphael. It's good to hear you and good to hear you.
My God.
At least I listened through the whole thing. So that was quite interesting. I just have a couple comments, I think, and I love what the guy that spoke just before me was saying with regards to indigenous music. So one of the things that I've since learned to help people in that is to ask them to incorporate indigenous music with the classical music or with our basic Western music and see how we can come up with something new. So I think in order for us to push it, not just because I'm sort of scared that we're beginning to lose our indigenous music. I think the Yoruba tribe, if I might say, is doing quite a good job at ensuring that their music still stays like out there. Other tribes, maybe not as much. And for that reason, I feel it's important for us to push for indigenous music to continue. So one of the things I do, even in the studio, sorry, I'm not a musicologist and you know all the musical terms you guys use.
You should actually, I was going to talk about you so that people know who is talking. Because no, we need to talk about, people need to know who is talking. So if you've ever been to Abuja, this is the CEO, I think I can say that, of Abba Music School. Abba Music School is doing a fantastic work in music in Abuja. You know, before now, we used to have only Strauss Music School and all of that. Abba Music School is just amazing. So if you're ever in Abuja, if you're living in Abuja, please make out time to go there. And you can check them out on Instagram. Fantastic work. Wow. So you guys need to know who is talking. That's why I said that. So just that gentle voice.
All right. Thank you for that advert, Raphael. Anyway, so back to the topic. So the indigenous music thing. So I'm very, very particular about it. And I do agree with him with regards to the fact that whoever wins a war usually rewrites history to suit themselves, which is what the Western world did. so that they could eliminate everything indigenous and then put themselves out at the forefront. So I think the onus is on us to now wake up, you music people, to create the way in which this music is going to go out there. First and foremost, it does not have to be the same way with the Western way of doing music. It can be in different ways, the pedagogy, as he said. And I believe that that would still work. I say that because I've got people who walk in here. I've got quite a number of traditional instruments from across Nigeria sitting within my school. And we actually have people who walk in and ask to learn how to play a particular instrument. The people who teach these instruments are not necessarily people who understand the staff and bars and understand time signatures and all whatever it is that, Western music puts out there. But they are able to teach it because I asked them, give me a syllabus for what you're going to teach this person. And they do. And they put it down for you and give you the way it works. And the person learns and leaves. So it means it's very, very possible. Maybe we can do it better, but they do it even in their own local way. This is just me contributing to that discussion, so I don't overflog it. But let me just go back to a few points that you had made. You did talk about the impact of music on behavior, and said that discipline, that a lot of times when people learn music, when children learn music, so it affects them in terms of it improves their behavior, it improves this, improves that. I would like to agree, but at the same time, I would like to disagree with that. And I would say, would that not be as a result of your personal values? Because whoever is teaching is who impacts or imparts whatever it is that they impart. So you instill what you believe. If you are disciplined, then you can also teach that discipline. If you believe in the moral high ground or moral standing, you are going to teach the moral standing. Not because you tell the child this is the right thing to do, this is not, but the child can see it in you. So basically you emulate whatever that you want the child to pick up. Why I say so is because I agree that a lot of music teachers might have the discipline and the rest, but I've also met some really, really horrible people who do not have any of those traits. And I hate to imagine what they would be passing on to whoever their students would be. So I think it behoves it on each musician or a music teacher to themselves develop these positive behaviors so that they're able to impact the next generation with the positive behaviors. That's one. Then you also spoke about Tunde Onokoya with the chess thing. I work with some NGO groups, so we're now doing a chess thing for girls in disadvantaged communities here in Abuja. And so I'm very, very conversant with what he does. And one of the things that I would say, because I love the fact you said, oh, can't we do that with music? I think that's a fantastic idea. However, I think the music people themselves need to change. Tunde Onokoya, if you go back to his story, go back to when he first started, one of the things he would tell you is, when he's giving you his story, he didn't say that about himself, but what you get from it was there's a lot of selflessness involved. There's a lot of passion involved. There's a lot of sacrifice involved. These three things, minus the passion, the selflessness, and the sacrifice. A lot of music people are not willing to do that.
Yeah.
They aren't. Because I converse with them a lot. I have engagements with them in different places. They're not. I understand that money makes the world go round. Oh, yes, we all need money to live and to move from point A to B. Yes. But for them, it's just the money. They say, you cannot do it without the money, or you cannot do it without the money. Who said I don't like money? Everybody likes money. But at the end of yes, everybody likes money. I don't care who you are. You can't tell me you don't like money. We all do, because we need to breathe. We need to walk up and down. We need to transport ourselves. We need the money. So of course we all like money. But you see, I found that music people are not really selfless and they don't really sacrifice. We have some that do, don't get me wrong, but a lot of them do not. They are, I think, like a musician friend of mine says, poverty has scarred the person. So maybe it's that poverty that suffered in life, it's just scarred your brain. So you can't think of any other thing but how much money I'm going to make here, or I need to make money, or I need to, and he shouldn't scam me. So you constantly think everybody's trying to, like chance you, so to speak. But sometimes it's not that. It's actually for you to do it. So my question is, how are you going to achieve the music across these communities if you're not going to be selfless, and if you're not going to be learn to sacrifice? Everything is about being paid. So I think there's a question I want to ask music people. Let's sit and ask ourselves these questions. Okay, that being said, I'm sort of happy because half of what he was saying are stuff that maybe I've tried at some point. So one of the things that I did, I put it on hold for now because it became a very expensive venture. That's why I said I like money too. But one of the things that I did was to actually start a choir. And I started a children's choir across disadvantaged communities in Abuja. So the children that were in that choir were from the Pape, from Gwagwalada, from Kuje, from, think of all the downtrodden, Ado, those kind of places, Piakase, Gishiri. That's where these children used to come from. And I put them together. Why? Because I felt they will not be a menace in their society and their communities. Because if they learn music, or they learn how to sing, or they sing together, or they start learning how to play an instrument, they are going to be better examples and ambassadors in their communities. And so I started that. And I ran it, I think, comfortably, maybe let's say for about 4 years, 4 or 5 years. But I ran it alone. Nobody was willing to give me any money. Nobody was willing to try and, let me help you out. So this was from my pockets. And you know that if you're bringing children together from any of these places, you're going to transport them coming and going. You're going to feed them, because some of them were living in communities. It was as bad as they have 3 or 4 meals a week that are cooked for them. So I made sure I would cook a meal, have a meal ready for them. So when they finish rehearsal, that motivated them. They will come for that rehearsal so that they can eat that meal. And that would be like their 5th meal for that week. Because all the other days, they might not have meals. Some were eating 3 meals a week. So that was their 4th meal. So I was doing all that, but by myself. So it's amazing to hear that we've got churches and things who do music and things for different groups of people. I'm just hearing it now, they're free. And I think that's an amazing thing. But I also think that beyond that, in all the acts of holiness, let's also try to support those that are trying to do what we're trying to do wherever they are. Because churches do have money. I'm not saying come and dash me your money, but you can calculate all the people and whatnot. So I actually had to stop it because it was weighing heavily. With all the other responsibilities I had, I could not continue it. But I know that I successfully started a lot of the kids from primary and junior secondary till they finished secondary school. At the end of the day, I paid half of their school fees. I also paid for all their JAM exams and their WAEC exams. This was all from my pocket. But after that, because they all had to either go out to look for jobs, or maybe they would be able to find or something and sponsorship. So the thing just sort of fizzled out. It's still there in principle, but we just haven't done anything in like 2 years. So wow, that's what I would like to encourage us to do. Then I think that's about it. So
Thank
music
you,
to schools in disadvantaged areas is fantastic. Music education, you talked about music education and how it's taken out of schools. Last year's Summon Conference, the Society of Music Educators of Nigeria, I am aware that they reached out. I would have expected Mr. Iswola to talk about that. They reached out to the Ministry of Education and other ministries of the FCT and the rest. We're talking of in Abuja, and talked about how they needed music back in schools. And I know that efforts are currently being made to try and see how that can be reintroduced into schools. So maybe someone just needs to intensify those efforts. We all know that in Nigeria, when something happens, it might take 4 or 5 years before it comes back. So please just bear with us. But I think that it's something that someone is still pushing. And hopefully in another couple of years, if, God let us see that day, they'll eventually move music back into school. So it's something that I know someone is pushing. So I think all hope is not lost there. Right now, it looks very bleak, but I don't think all hope is lost. So I think those are the things that I just wanted to add
Thank you
on.
so much.
Thank you very much for
Is
your
it
time.
Oh
thank you
my
so
God.
much. Is it Mrs. Bola or Dr. Mrs. whatever? But thank you so much for yeah. You want to respond to that quickly? Then we will call.
I don't think there's anything to respond to. I think that she's just fantastic summary, and it's a lot. Even me, I was writing down stuff as she was talking because there's something she said that really caught to my core, and that's the fact that the personality of the teacher,
Yeah.
the personality of the teacher is more important than even the music.
Yeah, the content. Yeah.
Doctor, you and I will agree that we've had our share of dealing with indisciplined musicians, and Vatne is here, Ayo is here. So these are things that we know. So that cut to the core. It was really, when she said it, I just broke, man, because because I know it's true. So I work in a place now, like I said, where I have to deal with. I have a I have some persons coming to work with me. So we don't run a club. We just call it peripatetic music. We don't run a club. So and I have to deal with stuff like this. And you know, it starts with little things. It starts with little things as, for example, you absconding from a class and not even having a courtesy to say you're not going to be around. It starts with little things, very little things. We had a major issue where a stentor cello, I have to call the name because so you know the cost of that cello was broken in class. Why? Because the cello teacher walked away from class and nobody knew. So in church, for me to say this, we say too, because of my passion for kids, I also work with children in my church. That's how much of children. So people are like, why are you not singing in the choir? I say, no. So I work in children's church in my church, teach the choir in my church. And my leader says to me, he says, the spirit around you matters a lot as much as the thing you're doing. Yeah. So if you're coming with a negative spirit, you're coming with a negative aura, you're coming with a negative, you're bringing it to children. Also, as parents, I say to parents, before if a parent says to me, oh, I need a violin teacher, before I recommend to you, I need to be sure that that person has the right spirit. Because you can't just recommend any Dick and Harry. You don't bring any funny person to your house, all in the name of you want the person to learn. That person will teach your child the piano and then another spirit will enter your child. So I agree with what she said. The spirit behind the person and that level of indiscipline that most of us have, and I'm not even shying away from it, is affecting the work we are doing. So we need to change the attitude. Selflessness, sacrifice, passion, there's so much that we can say about that because like I said to Ayajayi earlier, it goes two ways. It's very hard. It's very hard. We've all had ventures. I have a concert I do, and somebody sat me down and said, you cannot do it alone. You need a team. You need a team. You need a team. Okay, fine. I've gotten a team. Let's work. Team, this is what you're going to do. This is what you're going to do. At the end of the day, that edition where I had a team was the worst edition of the concert ever. Because everybody just felt, what is in it for me? Everybody asked the same question. What is in it for me? So I don't know how we're going to achieve it. It's down to morals, it's down to what you hold valuable. It's down to what you as a person holds valuable. I worked in a school for 11 years. 11 years. You understand? And people thought that I was a management staff in the school because of the way I was operating in the school. And when I was to leave, the whole shenanigans around it was just fun. And then people are not asking, so what's the point of being selfless and passionate anyway? So there is a two-way thing. Because there are places where you have been selfless and passionate and then it just comes back at you. You know. And about Mrs. Brown, I don't know if you know the story of the African Children's Choir. The day I heard the story of the African Children's Choir, I was like, wow. So what they do is a Ugandan, they are from Uganda, I think, majorly. The African Children's Choir is very old, they're very popular. So what they do is, what those guys do is that, yes, so they raise the choir, and after every 2 years, they graduate them. So I think 2 or 3 years, they go on tours, they go on concerts. Every money that is raised is saved for their education. So once they are done with that set, they graduate them, send them, start a new set. Sustainability is very key in ideas because some of the things, it's not like we like ideas. And I'm saying the same thing to me too, because we started, sustainability is very key. How do we sustain it? Social media now is the wave of the moment. You're doing anything, you plaster it on social media. You see this thing, we say, oh, don't let the right hand know what you're doing. Well, that was Jesus' time. Now you must let them know. You go and you start one person singing in the storm. Take a picture, put it on Twitter. I am doing this. People are finicky. Celebrities want to be associated with things that everybody will know that they are doing. We cannot come and say, oh, I don't want people to know. I'm very humble, I'm very selfless. No, no, this humility doesn't get to that aspect. The word Tunde, for example, immediately started, he puts it out there. Oh, I have gotten this person, I am doing this, I want support. And people supported. People do it a lot. That is the way, that's why I said, I've been thinking, because that's the way to go now. Any venture we start now that has to do with helping people, we can't do it alone because in the end, you're going to, like what you said, end up spending your own money. And as much as I know you, for example, that you're a very selfless person, you're a very selfless person. I'm not just trying to sing your praise because I know you have worked with you. So there's just so much you can do about it. And there are many people on this platform who also want to do stuff. But they are just, God, what can I do? I'm just one person. I'm just one person. But I feel like platforms like this, like Dr. Ayo said now, Dr. Ayo will be, I will love for you and Dr. Ayo to talk so that we all come together and we all see how to work and achieve things like this because we need a community of people that have the same mind. We need a community of people that have the same mind. So for the effort being made to introduce music to government school where we wait and we are there, if they need us and they reach out, like I said, we have a coalition of musicians. We have many musicians in our space. We have many. So it's the thing that we'll just need somebody that can talk. We'll just go back to them and say, see, this is the thing. And when the efforts that are being made, we can, if you have access to government, they want to sit down and have a conversation. There are still a few good men, let me use that word, people who are ready to do this thing without saying, no, you have to break the bank for me. I think there are still a few good men out there, and we can find them. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much,
Thank you so much.
Dr. Ayo. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your contribution. Yes, we have come to the end of this particular one today, but a few things. I think I noticed Elder Samson Anan. Yeah, I think he sent a note I saw. I hope he's still around. Well, I just want to just a shout out and thank, perhaps you might not know who I'm talking about. Elder Samson Anan is one of the Nigeria, how would I put it now? The grandfather of what we're talking about today, music education. He worked with many schools, particularly Corona schools, for I think over 40 years.
I know him. I know him very well.
As a music educator. Yeah. So, and also, of course, music in Lagos has always been around. So, thank you so much for joining us, Elder Anand. Thank you so much. Thank you. And I appreciate you sent a comment here. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Also, of course, our colleagues, our friends, you need to know that some of the people here, they are more like a family of the Organelle series because you always see them, like Mr. Kolawole said earlier, the likes of Ayo Ajayi. There's Mr. Sheung Akin Ajayi. West again is there. I think I saw Mr. One Day who is always, of course, supporting. Then brother Adedotun Ola Yemi, thank you so much, bros. Thank you so much. I saw one Ashaulu here. I hope it's the Shaulu or the maybe I don't know, but Alua from Ashaulu. I hope it's the person I'm talking about. Yeah,
just calling all my guys.
Exactly. Yeah. Then of course, Mr. Professor Tolulokwe OIJ, thank you so much. I can see Toby Ajayi and others. So thank you so much. And everyone, please. Yes, Mr. Matthew Agba, I noticed you by the time you raise your hand. I hope it's just a shout out. Thank you so much, Mr. Matthew Agba, for joining us. Thank you so much. Ruth, one day, of course, Reverend, thank you so much. Reverend, thank you so much. Do us again, well, of course, our own Mary Umoson, thank you, Mary. Then it's Reverend Tululuide. I saw one again, but thank you everyone. Thank you. and the organ house team. Thank you so much. So, there, Mr. Iswala, you are still there. Thank you, thank you. Everyone, thank you so much. Dr. Jose, thank you. Is it? I'm missing the Reverend in Hope now. Yeah, the two final announcements today. The first one is this. Let me start from the symposium. The first departing announcement I want you to take note of. So look out for it. So we're having a 3-day symposium, international symposium for that matter, from 16. The process begins on the 15th, covering African art music. What we are doing for the third day is a focused concert exploring all genres within the context of African art music. For any medium you have, please reach out to us. We would like to talk to you and feature your work. If you have a group, you have a choir, anything you do in terms of artistic work in this area, orchestra, I think Mr. Raphael said, it'd be nice to have Grange, Mr. Raphael, if you have a repertoire.
Yes, please.
Of course,
Yes,
it will be
please.
great.
We would like to complain.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we are hoping, particularly for the third day concert now. If you have any program idea, please reach out to us. We would like to work with you. Yeah, it's African art music. And the fact that this concept is domiciled within West Africa, particularly Nigeria and Ghana, is a big deal for us, to also embrace something like this and take ownership, at least for one thing. If you're not taking ownership of Mozart or whatever, let's take ownership of those who have been creating works, in that language. We have all of them here, the likes of Ayorinde, the likes of Oluranti, Professor Otoluwaje, Shonwaje, all of them. So let's take ownership of these people and put them in the global space to say, look, we are also doing this. So that's what we are trying to do. And that's what this platform stands for, is reclaiming, bringing back what is possible, to tell our own story in a way that resonates not only from the local context, but also spotlight the people and our culture to the global soundscape. So in closing, I am sending the YouTube link again to our page. Please follow us and make use of all the resources there. These resources are for you. We are not recording this symposium or these seminars because we want to record. No, we are recording so you can go back there and make use of the resources, and also follow us and spread the news around, direct people to that page. Let them follow us and also use the resources. Also, you can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and most importantly, and also on LinkedIn. So I have just, I'm sharing the link to our LinkedIn page. Please join us, follow us. And earlier, I was asking for your email. We want to have an email directory where we send you updates. You can always reach out to us at organhouse concert and seminar series at gmail.com. The organhouse concert and seminar series at gmail.com. Of course, check our weekly posters. The email is there. Please reach out to us and let us know about you. We want to have you on our, mailing list, so we can update you and also invite you. Yeah. Thank you so much. So see you next week. Hopefully, we will engage you again, or just expect our invitation. We invite anybody. It's a community that is open for anyone who has something to say or who has something to share with the broader community. Thank you so much. So join us for the symposium. We are looking forward to hosting you in person at the Organ House. You can also join us online. Yeah, we are going to have series of presentation. You can also come in person to come and witness and engage. You are all welcome. So see you next week. Thank you so much. Bye.